Welcome back to the Dynasty Grind. My name is Peter Howard at PA Howdy on Twitter. This is a live stream we do every Wednesday at 9:30 in season, off season, out of season, any kind of season we can find, where we talk about Dynasty fantasy football for about 3 hours or so until we run out of questions, desperately trying to run out of questions before midnight. If you have any questions, drop them in whatever comment box on the streaming platform that you are streaming, watching, idly listening to while you do other things. That's how I do it. And we'll be sure to get to them. We do it democratically, or I guess it counts as democratically because we read them in the order that they turn up on the little feed we have. But we do get to everything most of the time, even if it's just one of us holding down the fort for the last few. So sorry if it takes a while. We usually operate about 30 to 40 minutes behind. And yeah, welcome back. I took a week off because I had like 3 birthdays in my household, and so we went to Waffle House and watched a movie because that's what we do when that happens. How are you? Oh, I should bring in the other guys. Yeah, let's go talk to Russ. Let's go talk to Zach. Let's go find out if Aaron Rodgers is a Jet yet, because I'm very confused. Taking a week off, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But Juju's a Patriot now, and Aaron Rodgers may or may not be in the light again. I don't know. Howdy, fellas. How's it going?
I'm pretty sure
there are like 3 questions in the feed. Like, what did you do last week? Did you guys destroy the feed? Like, where's all my questions? What did you do to them?
The real question, Peter, is have you or have you not taken over as director of analytics for the Patriots? Juju Smith-Schuster signed today with the Patriots. Just now, James Robinson to the Patriots for 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah, right. For a year. Good for him.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that Peter is now in charge of analytics for the Patriots. That's where he's been for the last week.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to. Yeah, living the dream. Nope.
So wait. No. Did the Juju thing like happen for real?
Yes.
Because it was. Did you notice Zach put it in our DM for here? He's like getting serious between the Patriots and Juju Smith-Schuster, and we were in the middle of the Trade Addicts 11 startup. I traded for the pick in front of the Juju.
The pick in front of me where I was going to take him. Yes, you did. I saw you.
I did that.
and you forced me to draft Derrick Henry in the 9th round.
I'm not in the draft. I don't get invited to these things. Don't ask.
You're in a Trade Addicts league already. 4 before this guy. You need to take away this thing.
This overlay sucks. What have you done?
Get rid of it. We didn't use it. There was only 2 of us. We couldn't have.
No, it was him. It was this, and it was terrible. And you should, feel bad. Stop killing my stream. I will find a background. Damn it! There we go. Nathan, how you doing? Can you talk about the difference in quarterback value in a 10-team Superflex league, particularly in the rookie draft, versus what, Nathan? But sure.
I'm going to guess 12 team because that's what we always talk.
Yeah.
Just a little less valuable. Not markedly, but there's less teams that need a quarterback, so the demand is less. So
the only way that
I still think
changes because of league size is if you go down to like 8 maybe, and then the value changes. Other than that, it's just excessively more the larger that your league is.
Down to 8 up to 14, I think it changes, but yeah, 12 and 10 is not the biggest difference in the world. It does make me want better quarterbacks in a 10 team as opposed to 12, where I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah, standard rule applies. The smaller the league, the more studs and duds it is. You just want the.
So does that mean that you're taking the swing on Richardson because he's got the highest upside? If everybody hits to their max potential, Richardson is the player that you want in this quarterback class. So I
think in a vacuum, sure, but I also don't think you just have to pick based on if the best of all possible. Well, you make an assessment of how risky, how likely it is for that to happen. And for me, no, because I don't think it happens. But yes, if your process leads you to, I think he has a decent shot of doing so. Yeah, he should be the 101.
102. It's always going to be Bijan. kind of, yes. I was talking about it. I don't remember with who. With someone. And I think regardless of amount of teams, if I'm in like a big rebuild, the further rebuild I am in, the higher Anthony Richardson gets, because playing it safe doesn't super help in a rebuild. But if you want to keep Anthony Richardson, or just the value swing that will happen if he comes in and crushes it for the first 2-3 games that he plays, to be able to sell that at that extended, that raised price, like, I think that makes me more interested in Richardson, not having to do with how many teams are in the league, but also, yes, like, to go back at, to the actual question, because you're not filling your roster out in a rookie draft, which means, yeah, I want to shoot for the next Allen or Hurts, esque player, and that's Richardson at this point.
Not for me, but if it is for you, you should. I think there's a way to play rookie drafts, and then we can admit that leads to a different player sometimes, if you know what I mean. It's just Bijan Robinson in any format for me. Open 24 hours. Hey now. 12 teams, start 10, Superflex, half point PPR, Daniel Jones or the 108.
108.
Yes, 108. And he has a pick. Any reason to make the trade now? No. If you are the one holding the pick, there's never a pressure. You have the cards, as it were, because you get to see the draft, you get to see how interesting it is, get to see who gets drafted where. There's always more information that actually only helps you out.
108's real close to.
I just counted. I'm a little less excited about the 108 after realizing that's the top of the tier after I want to be in.
Right.
Yeah.
But unless somebody so there is a world.
One might take Levis. Like, you have to be ready for that.
There is a world that the Colts take Levis in the first round, and then all of a sudden people take Levis in that 105, 106, 107 range. And honestly, so I just finished my Will Levis evaluation. I'm starting on Anthony Richardson tomorrow.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Before you get into that, just to keep going on this question, I mean, Daniel Jones was a top 15 quarterback, I think, scoring-wise this season. Do we like him a little bit more now that he will hopefully... Well, he already has one much better pass catcher that will play at least like 6-7 games.
Well, that was kind of my... Nice. That was a good Waller joke. But I think that was my hesitation on the 108 versus Daniel Jones is like, I think you're looking at if you end up with the quarterback there, if you end up with Levis or whoever, you're hoping he's a Daniel Jones level quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think the other players there are giving you much more interesting production than what Daniel, and it's hard for me to say because he's not.
I need Quentin Johnston to go to a terrible landing spot because I need to stop thinking of him like I like him as much as I do, because it's messing with my trade valuations. Like now that I stopped and thought about it, this probably should be Daniel Jones. It's fair. I think this is probably along the lines of where it fits in. But
I think it's close enough for me that it's about what your team's like. If you need a quarterback and you're competitive next year, like you're already playoff bound, then sure, Daniel Jones. But any other situation, I'm like, I'll take my swing. I hope for more upside.
How about he was quarterback 7 in total points and quarterback 10 in points?
Well, yeah,
per game.
if it's about points, I can see seeing that there's that upside for him. I don't think there's long-term value here.
Well, but I mean, he just got a long-term.
Isn't about that.
He just got a long-term contract.
I don't expect him to repeat. Is the thing. I don't think he's going to be a top 7 quarterback regularly, and he'll sink back down into that middle class where it's honestly this is about where he's at. So I'd rather take the pick now in a draft class that's right now than trade him for that later.
So I agree with your theory.
Fair enough.
No. So look, I think that Daniel Jones is now in that Brian Daboll really easy on the running quarterback offense that produced Josh Allen. And no, Daniel Jones isn't going to be Josh Allen, but man, I don't mind having Daniel Jones. Like, I don't love it. I'm not like excited to have Daniel Jones, but man, I'm also not disappointed to get Daniel Jones. And for the 108, I don't mind it.
Yeah, the more I talk it, the more it's probably Jones, but
you don't have to do it.
You have to do that now.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to sit in the draft and like if Levis does go a little early and I might be able to get Addison.
Yeah.
I'd wait to see what happens.
Yeah, and that's fair. And open 24 hours, like that's exactly the play is you're not ever not going to be able to get Daniel Jones from this guy for that 108. Right. Like I don't see a scenario where they're like, you know what? Nah. So
that's all I'm saying, Zach. I'm just saying you should like Jordan Addison a bit more than you do. That's
Why are you so low on Jordan Addison?
Like 2 weeks ago,
you were saying,
hold on. We need to talk about.
He's a young kid trying to make a dream come true. Stop hating.
We have to talk about how much Zach hates Jordan Addison.
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, he was
Zach. Let me speak. Don't interrupt me. Because Jordan Addison grades out as Zach's wide receiver one.
Yep.
But who's your wide receiver one, Zach?
JSN.
Not Jordan Addison.
No.
Why do you hate Jordan Addison?
That's true. but Peter said it. Peter tells me I comped him to Julio Jones and somebody. So I don't know what to think anymore.
Pretty sure. Alan Davis, no less. Zeke cut today. Dallas drafts at 25 due to Miami's forfeit. If Bijan is there,
he won't be there at 25. But
he won't be there. But if he was there, they would take him at 25.
Wait.
I think they trade up. I can see the Cowboys just going to try and get him.
Is Bijan going to go like early in the first?
He'll go top
16.
Well, he won't get past 15. I'm here to tell you.
Who's at 15?
The Patriots, and they'll take him in a heartbeat because he's the best player in the draft, and that's what they do. Like they don't necessarily care about that. They'll take him.
But yes, they would. I'm pretty sure. Zach Linton, what's up? Not much, man.
Hey, Zach.
I love how he just
Justin Johnson.
That I can't get his name right.
He says my name in a very excited and fun way, and then says, "Glad to see you. Missed you where you were hanging out with your wife in the other week. I miss you too, buddy. Thanks very much." Jake, hey yo, appreciate that.
We gotta get Jake slide. We'll slide him the link some week. Get him on here. The return of the golf.
If you want to talk about golf, I don't know. But
I'm here to tell you, Peter. While you were gone, while you were doing your birthday celebrations, having the cupcakes, doing the trick candles, blow it out. It comes back, you blow it out again. Jake and I were having some really good conversations about film on these players. I think you'll find it could be fun.
I mean, at least you still talk to someone about it. That's cool. Brandon Thompson, 10-team half-point PPR, trade away Stefan Diggs in the 24 second, received the 23-104 and a 24 first, non-superflex. Thoughts? A few. Stefan Diggs in a second for 2 firsts, and one of them's a 104. Yeah.
And we're talking Quentin Johnson, wide receiver 3, running back 3. Like, this isn't because Bijan. Oh well, no, because Bijan gives JSN Addison, so you're getting the last of that. So you're probably getting Addison or Gibbs, and then you're getting a 24 first. I mean, I don't care about giving up the 24 second to boost that into a 24 first. Yeah. It's probably.
It sucks because Diggs is better than that.
But if I, for some reason, if Steph Diggs said something bad about my mom, and I actually liked my mom, I would accept this trade because it's enough to get rid of Diggs, but it's not something I think I feel good about.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of, if it wasn't a top 4 pick, it would just be a no. But where I think I get a wide receiver or a running back, I really like top 4 in this draft. Yeah.
If you push up to 3, I think it would make the world of difference, though. Yes. Clearly, that's on the table.
Yep.
Because you get I could see that. It's close enough, Brandon. If you need it, yeah. Zach?
I would have to be rebuilding hard.
That's what I mean.
Very
like
strong
if you're in a situation where you need to trade Stephon Diggs, this is fine. But J-Rob gets cut. Oh, sorry.
But J-Rob just signed.
I've not.
He literally signed 26 minutes ago.
Yeah, but then if they draft Bijan, they just cut James Robinson.
I don't think that. Yeah,
I don't think we're that caught up.
He won't be there. He won't be there. So
Bijan should go
top 16 easy.
And
like say, probably top 15 is probably even better. Yeah, top 12. Brandon Thompson. Also, how do you guys feel about DeAndre Swift after Montgomery signing?
The same as I did before.
Signings did I miss? Honestly, David Montgomery, I'm assuming, doesn't change. Swift has a role that can fit with another running back. That's what he does. So
what's better about this is David Montgomery is not as good at scoring touchdowns as Jamal Williams is.
Yeah, that's actually probably my main takeaway.
He's probably a little better between the 20s than Jamal Williams is, but I don't.
I mean, Jamal Williams had like most of his were from the one. I think David Montgomery can do that, but
I'm joking. Like David Montgomery's good, but I think we are also past the point that we ever should think that DeAndre Swift is going to be any sort of a workhorse back. That dude will not get past 50% touches. He shouldn't and won't.
Do you think it's Bijan at 9 for the Bears?
I would really rather they take a wide receiver, like go take JSN or Addison there. I don't care.
What they really need to do is draft offensive line or defense.
Yeah, they should keep trading back. Let Dallas trade up to 9 to get Bijan.
Imagine going deep into trying to think like what these GMs are going to do. I'm glad I don't do draft projection. Trying to get inside those heads.
But I can't tell the grin on my face when I saw that Carolina's not even like set on drafting at the 1. They're still open to trading back, and I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah, do that. That never works out in Dynasty, though. That never goes well for people. But like, that was such a not NFL move that I loved it.
Yeah. Jake Anderson, no less than. I'm trying to trade the 111 and Rashad White. That's 2 C's, by the way, Jake. I mean, come on. Sorry. I think me correcting people's spelling is funny. I deal with it. For the 107 and Tony. I don't really need Tony. I think that'd be a pretty good trade up. Rashad White. Okay, I'm going to finish reading it because I got thoughts all over the place. He rejected it. I have a bunch of seconds. How much more would you offer? My team needs a lot of help. If it needs a lot of help, I don't think the 7 gets you into a different tier based on what we were just saying. Very bottom, maybe, of the next tier up.
Well, no, the 7 gets you into a different tier in Superflex.
He didn't say what kind of league it is. Okay. Honestly, like, does Tony matter? Like, I get liking Tony. I get wanting to know.
So hold on.
It's not nothing.
Hold on. This is a micro market. Kadarius Toney.
Because Juju signed somewhere else.
Signed somewhere else. You're going to hear talk come out of Kansas City about how we're going to try to get Kadarius Toney more touches, about how efficient Kadarius Toney was last year.
He's going to look good every time this tape, obviously, because he's athletically phenomenal.
And so, like, this is Kadarius Toney is a micro market hard, whether you like him or not.
That's fair.
That's kind of where my head was at. I don't mind him as an ad for that, but yeah, it's fine.
Also, weirdly, like Rashad White, like there's talk of Fournette getting cut and Rashad White somehow lost value.
I was going to say it's kind of balanced by the Rashad White second year. Didn't do much his first year behind Fournette, but he was a decent prospect with good draft capital. He might be a micro market in and of himself. For me, it's whether that 7 is a difference maker for you. And apparently it is, because he's literally asking, what do I do to get it done? Or how much more to get it done? And I'm not scared of adding a second, but more than that seems weird.
See if that gets it done.
Yeah, I would add a second. I wouldn't add 2 seconds. That would be my first thought. Because a second, if I think I'm getting the player I want, a second's nothing to try and trade up and get that. But 2, and I just think they're being I just get annoyed at them. Like, that's too much.
You're either getting a quarterback or you're getting JSN, Addison, or Gibbs. Like, that's
again assuming Superflex, but also like
I really think that many quarterbacks. I guess they should.
well, Peter, Stroud and Young are going to go, and then when Anthony Richardson gets taken first
and then
overall,
Levis. Yeah,
like
yeah, if Richardson goes like top 15-ish,
Yeah.
he's going in the first 4 picks of a Superflex draft.
I mean, I like it for the players that I want, but yeah, that's where I'm at. I would add a second without hesitation. Second, 2, and I think they're just, come on, dude, that's not.
Plus, Rachaad White means nothing to you if you're rebuilding anyway, so just throw a second and let
Good
it be.
point. Yeah, Tony's probably the better market, or however we want to say him. If you're building, yeah, that's right. Zach Evans, I have a stacked team. Congrats. In a 12-team Superflex half-point PPR start 10. Last year, co-champ. A lot of people had trouble finding a winner last year. That kind of sucks. After 109, 10, and 12, what would you give for Tyreek Hill to fill the final flex? Oh, that would be awesome.
Those.
Honestly, yeah, I was going to say 3 first-round picks is normally not.
I mean, I would try the 10 and
those
12 and see if you could try and keep the 10 maybe, like offer the 9 and 12 and see what happens.
If these were 3 generic first-round picks, I'd say that's too much. But where where they're landing, it's a super flex, but you're outside that top 8 max of that tier. So, yeah, all 3 would be fine. Send 2, see how it goes.
So take Pickens.
Oh, I didn't read that last sentence either. Yeah.
Take Pickens and the 112 and see if you can get Tyreek. And then take the other 2 and try to get up into the top 6. And if you have to
add Dotson,
and end up with Tyreek Hill and JSN instead of Dotson and Pickens. Like that's what I would be trying to do.
That would be winning, but yeah, I would do that. Outside of that, whichever trade works at that value,
you can really make your team much, much, much better with all those pieces you listed. Yeah.
Solid.
Wow, Tyreek in your final flex. That is a stack team.
Zach Evans. I have wait. I thought I clicked on the next one. I did not. I did not. Will James Robinson cut into Stevenson?
No, especially play like he did last year. He will not.
I think if he was going to, he would have done something on the last team change. I was surprised to see him not, but now we just keep expecting that. I thought he would do something more. And he did literally.
He'll be fine because the offense will be better. But he's not gonna. Don't go expecting 3 years ago James Robinson.
Right.
No, I think the NFL's past is the way I would think of it. Like he's gonna be a team back, not a team's back, something like that. Zach Werman.
Look at that dude's profile picture. I'm like jealous of that. He's got the no sleeves.
He's got a guitar,
tattoos, guitar.
I can't imagine owning a guitar. No, he looks good. And a Superflex starter on the clock. Oh, sorry if we didn't get to this soon enough. Currently at the 11th pick in the 17th round, so not much left to go. Are you taking the 23-305 Paris Campbell, Zay Jones, Jeff Wilson, or Leonard Fournette in a 12-team start 11? Paris Campbell or the pick, I think. That's where I go that
really well. I get they brought in Calvin Ridley and all, but like Zay Jones isn't bad now.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing. He did well last year, and he's been drafted in the 17th round. What's the upside at that point? I'm only willing to consider Paris Campbell because, every time he gets on the field, he scores a touchdown, and then he gets injured again or doesn't get on the field again. So there's a small market there. Mostly down this late, I would just take the solid value. That's probably a random 3rd-round pick. Not that what some of these players will do well. I just don't think he can capitalize on it much in trades in general. Paris Campbell may be the exception. And Zay Jones I wrote off just because he did really well last year, and here's where we're at. Like, what more does he need to do to be worth more? You know what
first of all, my brain broke, and I thought that was an Excel formula at the very beginning. No, but like,
count if Paris Campbell.
Yeah, minus OTC. Oh God, what?
Concatenate.
Thought I was at work for a second.
So
you go ahead.
No, the way I play this is that deep. It's probably running backs because I'm looking for a week or two of production.
Yeah, that's fair. I was thinking more just general dynasty, but yeah,
Like,
that would be
yes,
the more
general
solid hit.
general dynasty, but you're not getting like none of this is worth anything.
But the third round pick probably turns into some random running back as well.
So what, take Lenny and hope
but
he
younger and
becomes
in a year.
an end of season league winner somewhere.
Yeah, or Jeff
Yeah.
Wilson who re-signed. Like, yeah.
I think
Again,
that's
it's not pretty, and like the 305 is fine. Like, I don't mind taking the 305 there. That's probably the safest pick. But
Yeah.
the way I roster construct, I'm gonna try to trade that for the running back that I want.
You're entirely right. If you were gonna, in terms of where value makers come from that deep, it's tight end, running back, almost never wide receiver, and that's it. And that's why I just defaulted to the pick. But you're right, the running back is probably the better choice as a rule. Zach Harris, would you pay the 112 for Mac Jones to fill a third QB spot, or would you rather try and pivot to a random 24 first? If this is a super flex, yes. If it's a super flex, I would get Mac Jones for that.
I just wouldn't get a third quarterback. Why do you need 3 quarterbacks? You can do so much better otherwise with the 112 and a player you'd probably start.
Super flex. I think Mac Jones is a little underrated at that point.
That is unfortunately his actual price, even though it should not be. But that is his price around the world. So I don't think it's a great deal. I think it is what it is for Mac Jones. I think it will change once this offense starts and it's an actual offense as opposed to last year. But I honestly just don't get a third quarterback. The only teams I have 3 quarterbacks is when I luck into one, like with Geno Smith. Like I don't keep 3 quarterbacks on a team. Zach barely keeps 1 sometimes.
It's true.
That's fair.
Like you can start J.D. McKissick in a quarterback. Okay, there you go. He has a quarterback.
I like starting quarterbacks that can make trades easier elsewhere when I need to do something. I'm not making a roster. I'm trying to add things that will get me what I need when I need it. And Mac Jones is a lot easier to trade in a super flex, I would imagine, than the 112.
Nobody wants
whatever I want
on their team.
Well, they will after they see Juju balling out.
I want that to be true. I don't think it will be.
I think it'd be all right.
No, I also do, but I don't think his value will change.
What he does and what Mac Jones does complement each other very well.
I agree. Which is why
don't trade Mac Jones. You keep Mac Jones and you trade your quarterback too when you need something. You know, there are options, but yeah, the value's fine there. Alec got off of Devontae Adams and Kelsey. Okay, for the 102 and 202.
Depending on
what's your roster? Hang on. Got Javonte, Pollard, Herbert, Kupp, Chase.
Oh, it's a 1 QB.
You've got Kupp. You got Watson. Trade Watson, by the way. No, actually, right now you should keep Watson.
Javonte, Pollard, Khalil Herbert, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Christian Watson.
This isn't a winning roster. You got Kupp. Adding Adams and Kelsey to it would be great, but I don't.
I take that.
Yeah,
easily. The more I think about it, yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't care that it's Garoppolo. It's Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
and it's Kelsey. The positional advantage in a start 8. Like,
if you think you can win next year, yes, you do it. But I'm looking at does he?
So
like you have to be pretty sure, and you're making the final.
Pollard is now a running back 1 unless they draft Bijan.
That's a good point.
And Javonte
will be
and your wide receiver 3 would be Devontae Adams.
So then you'll be starting Chase, Kupp, Adams, and then Kelsey.
Solid. We'll say Pollard and second running back Herbert for now. Yeah. Kupp, Chase, Adams, Kelsey, and then what? Are we sad to have Christian Watson as a?
No,
I mean a little sad with Jordan.
A home run swing.
A little sad.
A little sad. Yes, fair enough. A little sad.
I'm starting Brandon Cooks, baby. Woo! I don't know.
He's 26
now. 102 is gonna be JSN.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go. You've got Chase on your roster and Watson as well. You can go in either direction. I'm a fan of trying to win, but he's trying to add the 202 to the trade. It just seems. Yeah, Kelsey and Adams are probably worth that, and you could probably try to make a run 2023, knowing you're you're going to be building back again the year after. That's fine.
I do that. It would make me sad to lose out on JSN, but I think I do that just because of how good Adams and Kelce are.
And it's going to be one of these where if, after 4 weeks of the season, your team is...
You start trading them.
Then you can rebuild. I mean, it's not like you don't have pieces to rebuild with. You can trade Adams and you can trade Kelce and you can trade Kupp and you can trade Pollard. Like, there you go.
You won't get a piece the size of the 102 again. But these are all very movable pieces.
I will say, if you don't do this now, then you take JSN and you immediately start trading everyone else away, apart from Chase. Right. Like, you're going one direction or the other. You accept this trade or you start selling for value because that's the situation you're in. And I think it's real close. It depends how you feel about you getting those deals done in your league. If you can do that after week 4, great, try that. If you can't, you find trades harder, and I do, then I'm stuck rebuilding in 25 if I do this and I don't make it.
So I wonder if he earned the 102 also, because you got the 102, 202, which then reframes where you are in that league.
Those because he has both of them.
Yeah. So if you earn the 102, I'm not sure that Adams and Kelce get you to the championship.
And that's all I'm saying. Like, make an assessment. If you're a really strong contender,
Pollard wasn't Pollard last year until the end of the year. If you get most of a season of what Pollard might be,
I agree with you. Like, that's what my initial thought is. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
make a run.
It seems so right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Alec, it is your choice, but I think you make a decision, you go one direction or the other. I think, honestly, it's fair. Whichever you think's more fun will be a fine direction to choose because both could work. But it is somewhat about how much you think you can do in your league when. Does your league get really active in season, in which case there's almost no risk here because, like Zach says, by week 4, you'll have a good idea and you can start making moves. If you struggle or your league struggles a bit more with that, then this is a little risky, and I tend to lean... Actually, I'm going to keep the 102, get JSN. I'm going to try and sell Pollard off for something and Javonte off when he gets healthy and Kupp when he's scoring points. And I do it the other way. But honestly, both good directions to choose, in my opinion.
Oh, the Bears just signed P.J. Walker.
All right. Well, we'll roll out the alert. Bubble.
So there you go. So they're trading Fields now. Great.
Zuli the Witch. Yo, the boys are back. And salute to you lot. Thank you very much. I think. No, I know. Thanks. Alec, take it and make it a run at it this year. Honestly, fair decision. You've got a question mark there, but if that's how you feel, like, they're not wrong.
You'll be making a run with
put you on that path. I mean, you just have to put your team on hold till the season starts at that point, in that you're not going to get to make those draft picks, and that's fun and stuff like that. But, I mean, that's fine too. Justin Johnson, what is the value of Baker Mayfield now that he's with Tampa Bay? That was a 0, not a 3, to be clear. Like, I think it's a very hard trade.
I'm just saying peace, guys. No, he's
I thought you were saying a second.
I am saying a second.
You were? I got it right then.
He's worth a second.
I guess, but if you're like to Mac Jones at the 112, why did you do Mayfield for a second? I know
because I would have that as my QB2, not my QB3, because I don't want a QB3.
I would trade him away for that value. I wouldn't trade for.
That's a man who could not get the ball to Jarvis Landry.
You heard him. No, just sit there in your wrongness. Don't think of another comment. Sit there, be wrong. Sit there.
When he played for the Browns.
Oh shit! He played for the Browns.
That's where he started.
I'm like so far removed from that. I forgot it happened.
Like Mayfield, you forgot Mayfield played for the Browns.
Yeah,
like where he was like
wait, was he on the Rams? Was he on the Panthers? What? That legitimately just happened.
SU 1 QB half-point PPR. I miss this kind of. 2023, 102, 103, and Hawkinson for JJ. Wait. There's a lot of 4s. Wait.
This is two different
trades here.
Two different
102 and the 103 and Hawk for JJ, or the 102 and 103 for the 101. I think just JJ, right?
I'd rather have Jefferson.
The better trade is probably
Yeah, Hawk doesn't make me not want Jefferson. Because I'm gonna, as this trade shows, Jefferson is worth more than Bijan. Give me Jefferson.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're asking for a lot, they're getting a lot, but that means they should be happy with the trade and that establishes a relationship and all that junk. But again, the very simple life rule: if I can trade for Justin Jefferson, I probably do that.
Yep. And yeah, you'll probably be sad to miss out on JSN and or Gibbs or Addison, but you have Justin Jefferson to dry your tears.
He's very good at that, I hear. By the way, good evening, gents. Looking forward to another amazing night listening to you guys. Well, I hope we manage that, Alec. Thanks very much. Zuli, moment of appreciation for the best show in the Dynasty space. The Dynasty Dummies is in the middle of their hootenanny. We should appreciate it more.
The grind, baby. The grind. Thank you, Zuli.
Jake Anderson said Russ nailed it with the Richardson take. Zach Harris, I have a team that was only missing a star running back. Aren't they all? I give the 103, Chig, sure. And a future 24 first. Sure. That is projected, well, yeah, but it's in 2024. The projection doesn't count. To get the 101. Yes, I mean, the 103 and a future first for the 101.
Yes. Pretty easily. Yes. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that anyway. Yeah, that's a good trade. Jake Anderson, I'd take Jones there.
Daniel Jones
at 112.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. You
Thanks,
see,
Jake.
now we know I was right in saying no. I'm just saying. I think Levis goes top 7 in most Superflex rookie drafts. Yeah.
So
he probably will, but I'm glad if he does.
Every time I type Levis, autocorrect changes it to Levi's.
Yeah.
And I so want to do a Billy Jeans.
Okay.
I don't know if I will, but I want to so much.
Well, I want to listen to it, so get on.
No.
Or like drove the Chevy down to Levis.
He could. I think I'd do the Alien Ant Farm version though, because I'm not sure that my pipes have the. I'm not sure my pipes have the MJ. But
well, that's Smooth Criminal, but whatever.
Oh, that's right. Can't. That won't work.
That's so
biggest
good.
moves and values so far in the free agency market. Who is down? There's been a lot of moves. I don't think one comes to mind.
I don't think anything.
I think Adams
really
right.
happens.
Adams' values probably came low after the first. Devontae Adams' value probably fell a little bit.
Wait till the Jets trade for him.
Didn't have a quarterback. Yeah,
I will cry if they do that to Garrett Wilson.
That's the thing. I think that Aaron Rodgers news has the biggest potential to be a value swing, and that's mainly for Garrett Wilson. He's going to become Olave-like, or how Olave should be valued.
But they already are. They're both top 7. They're set.
Like, we're going to quietly buy up Elijah Moore shares because we like disappointment and also being sneaky.
Yes, that's where I am until he's part of the deal to go get Rodgers. He goes to Green Bay and then gets buried.
Do you think DJ Moore's values changed at all?
No.
Probably exactly the same. And it was too high before now, so now it's just kind of fair, but I'd still recommend trading.
Like we talked about it on Trade Addicts, which crap, I thought I edited that, but I did not. So I have to do that now. Like at most, it moves him up like 2 spots. Like I tried to put him ahead of other people because I wanted to, but I had nothing. Like there was nothing I could think to actually put DJ Moore ahead of. I don't think, and honestly, I don't think Fields' value changes either.
Yeah, so it's probably the potential value. The biggest change right now is the potential value of Aaron Rodgers landing someone. Yeah, I can't think of anything that's significant.
There's been some fun signings, but I don't think any major value swings have happened.
Nothing that swung most owners in most leagues. There'll be owners in some leagues, sure.
Like here, like Mac Jones' value may have gone up the most because of getting Juju.
I'm just ready to get hurt again.
Yeah, I've been, I've been saying that since it happened, and no one's really, besides you, have been listening. So I've stopped saying it.
Who gains the most? I mean, we went through.
I do. Oh, yeah. Casey and J Mike is happening right now. By the way, I might leave for a few minutes.
Grimly, 12-team Superflex PPR, the 102 and the 202, or Lamar. In the Superflex, that's Lamar. That's very easily Lamar, right?
Are we worried that he turned down 41 guaranteed for 3 years?
No. Why? I mean, I don't care how much money he makes.
But like,
give him more money. I don't care. It's not my money.
No, like, but like, do you turn that down, or are you just trying to work yourself out of Baltimore? In which case, something.
No, what he's looking at the Watson company, like that's
a fair contract compared to what other quarterbacks have gotten, especially at his level. In fact, worse.
No one else has gotten 41 guaranteed a year. They get 41 a year.
Guaranteed.
He got 60 a year. With
all contracts should be guaranteed. I don't. Like, I can't hold
Lamar
that.
Jackson should not get a guaranteed contract until he could play through an entire season.
But that
yes, he should.
You can't.
I know. That is.
I mean, Tom Brady missed an entire season, an entire season. I watched it happen.
What should not happen? Yeah. No, I'm not overly concerned with Lamar. This is one of those windows where if you think the player is good, because there is uncertainty, legitimately so, we don't know what's going to happen. The value is actually pretty decent, and this is an example of it. For
he
me.
also seems the kind of guy
risk
at this point where if he doesn't want to play in the tag, he'll just sit the season.
Cool. I'm buying Kyler Murray, and he's sitting involuntarily for most of the next season. So,
yeah, but you're not buying Lamar for the same reason. Well, unless you are, in which case, cool. Then, yeah, do that. But
I think he's that top 5 difference. It can be that top 5 difference maker quarterback who's suddenly not valued that way. That's literally the reason, I guess. Okay. You just don't want players to get paid. I get it. It's fine. God, you're all haters today.
I'm always.
I leave for a week. You all become hateful.
The teams have it so hard. That,
you know what? Team people.
Players should
team company.
Take
I get it.
Money so the teams can have a better time signing other players.
That's what they do with it. Julian, they don't even buy their own home.
By the way.
I just have other people.
/S, winky emoji, whatever it takes. That was absolutely sarcastic.
Yeah. Where would you like to see Zeke go? Does anyone have interest in Zeke no matter where he lands? Like, significant?
It was always funny. Like, there was always like 5 years ago was, where's the worst place this running back can go? Dallas, behind Zeke. Now it's the same thing. Where's the worst place he can go? As long as it's not behind a workhorse, it doesn't matter because he'll be a 1B somewhere.
Tampa is probably the best place, at least off the top of my head.
I mean, the answer is always Miami, right? Like, at this point.
This is the part that really
I don't think he's good enough anymore for that. But
I hate how dismissively we have to talk about as if we're talking about the human being. I'm not. I don't think he might have some points potential. No matter where he goes, he's got points potential. Yeah. And at the running back position, that's crucial. And in Dynasty, like, you're normally getting that when you need it. So right now, don't think anyone needs it. So I have no interest. But I think he's probably can. Yeah, the landing spot doesn't matter to me. There's nothing. Unless I need it suddenly to score points, I don't have interest in it.
As long as it's not in like San Francisco or wherever Bijan goes, like as long as it's not behind a workhorse, he'll get work, and he'll still be like a probably solid running back too.
Yeah, it's Jake Anderson again. Jeez, Jones got the deal. He has awesome catch, coach.
Get over it, Jake. That was like an hour ago.
I think that's mostly our fault, but okay. Frank C. Chargers. Physique, you mean? No, I think Austin Eckler eats his lunch.
Eckler wanted to be traded.
And he was given right to seek it out.
That's what I mean. It could be any one of those scenarios until I see one happen, though.
I don't think there's many bad.
Very good, and he's on the Chargers right now. Jones is becoming a good fantasy player without fantasy bet without a great deal, without being a real. He's like he's saying he's Blake Bortles. I can't get the words out. That's what. I can see that.
That's fine. But also, but the difference is Jones is a better real life quarterback than Bortles was.
That's probably actually fair. Yeah.
Last year
he's probably a
Russ,
bit better.
You probably don't remember this because it was a while ago, but Bortles was within a sniff of beating the Patriots in the playoffs in the AFC 1 year. Like he was not.
That was that defense.
It was that defense, but it was also Bortles and Allen Robinson, and they could they were really good. And it's not to say that Bortles is a good quarterback, but he's like
Jameis.
Okay, yeah. And I think Jones is not as good a thrower.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. I did not mean talent wise.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant, but I think Jones is more trustworthy than Bortles is. Like, I don't think he turns the ball over as much as Bortles did.
He doesn't throw interceptions as much as Bortles does.
He didn't fumble a lot this year.
And that's the 1 year that it hasn't happened. I'm dubious about that, but I do
anymore, right?
But again, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if he's not a good quarterback as long as he's a good fantasy quarterback, and he runs in
there. Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Justin Johnson. Get Garrett Wilson.
Yes, get Garrett Wilson.
112, and 24 first. Give the 101. Is that fair for the 101? Yeah, that's easily 3 first-round picks. You're probably hoping to trade Bijan Robinson into a Garrett Wilson plus later, even if you draft him. I think it's fine if you're building.
I think I'd rather have the Garrett Wilson side of it.
Do I need to give more? Okay, so Justin is trying to give the 101 to get Garrett Wilson plus. He's asking if he needs to add more to the 101 and Desmond Ridder. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Try it.
Oh, I would absolutely send this deal.
I would send this, yeah. I mean, I don't think Desmond Ridder carries value, but if he does, get it.
If this is carries something, you honestly
that just means nothing. Something is nothing. I mean,
there are very, 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 very few deals when you are sending away the 101 that aren't worth just sending. And the fact that this is Garrett Wilson, the 112 in a future first, it doesn't feel like too much already. Like, if this isn't like Garrett Wilson and the 104, and that's when you're like, okay, maybe I'm going a little too far. But like a very late first and a next year first, and then Garrett Wilson, I think this is absolutely one of those. Well, let's see what happens. I think it's worth a shot.
No, I like it. I would send it.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders to the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, they should have brought back Foreman and let him go. Even though I like Miles Sanders, so I'm glad he's in a place that worked well for running backs last year. But that makes me a little sad.
Lads, where does one need to position themselves to secure the big fella Darnell Washington in a pre-NFL rookie draft? Probably a late second round pick. I haven't looked pre-draft. I can look ADP right now.
Superflex. I did a crap. Can I still find that mock? I did a Superflex mock that was 2 rounds, and Darnell Washington was not drafted. I did a one quarterback.
A late second would be a reach, to be fair.
And also because there was no definition as to whether that was a tight end premium. I don't remember, so that doesn't necessarily. But hold on, let me find. I did
Superflex. He's 26 overall in Superflex rookie ADP right now. So a late second would be slightly over early third.
He went to 301.
Yeah, so you definitely want to get in like the 208
just to make sure you
range, just to make sure.
Oh, at the 212. Yeah. This was for a DLF staff mock draft because someone was going to write it up, so we had to put comments. At the 212, I took Roshan Johnson, and the only thing I wrote was Jet McKinnon 2.0 time.
He was a better passer than McKinnon.
They're both running backs now, so it don't matter.
Pats just signed James Robinson to a 2-year, $8 million deal.
Stop anyone from drafting Bijan Robinson.
No, it wouldn't stop them. It probably says
that says very, very little. $4 million a year.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, and we don't have any.
I'm going to say something very, very stupid. $4 million is not $6 million.
Well, and we also don't have the the money. So like a $8 million contract in the NFL, depending on guaranteed money, is not actually a 2-year $8 million. That may be like a 1 year and
oh my God, did you guys see Rashad Penny's money?
No.
1 year, 1.35 million with 600,000 guaranteed.
That's not many.
That is not comparatively, like, don't get me wrong, that's a lot more money than I make, but I don't get beaten up for a living.
Yeah.
That's low for the area.
I'm not saying Bijan's good. Like, you're not hearing me. I'm saying he's not going past that pick. He should go before that pick. But
if he did, he would be taken, but he's going probably before that pick. Zach, follow-up to my question above about the startup 17th round decision. Before I get blasted, yes, realize this is a decision between a bunch of turd sandwiches and poo-poo soup. No, you're good. I mean, draft picks must be made, right? No, you're good.
Poo-poo soup.
There isn't an area of Dynasty where I haven't spent way too much time thinking about it. Again, I've literally calculated out where the most difference points makers come from in deeper rounds, to be honest with you. So that's why I had an answer. It's a fine question. Justin Johnson, where do you...
I keep saying poo-poo soup. Don't listen to me.
Cool. Where do each of you have Israel? Can't say that.
Anaconda.
Zach just mentioned him to me. I haven't looked at him too deep yet. I do know he had 2,000 yards last year because Zach told me. He's running back ranking top 5, top 10, outside the top 10. Right, he'll be outside. He's outside the top 10 right now for me. Probably
8.
Stay there.
8.
Is that you or ADP?
Who, me? I have him at 8.
I heard you say 8, but I wasn't sure if that was yours or...
No, that's me.
Okay, cool.
Randy, whoa. Who's the male model who replaced Peter?
Peter's down on the bottom. That's just me.
I was going to say, that's Zach. Yeah, we back to our original screens. I feel offended Peter hasn't asked what I think about any prospects yet. I listen to most of his content, so I don't need to ask him questions. Heart emoji. How would I ask you questions, Jake? It's not like you're on Twitter and it's an open communication platform. Like, what? I have no way of reaching you since you blocked me.
Yes.
Zach Harris, would you pay a late first? Yes.
Sorry.
The later the better, but yes.
This is like the time I did the Jeopardy and I got to do the live show, but I would click the button too fast and then it would wait like 3 seconds before I could click it again. So I didn't get the answer even though I knew it. It was like, yes, before you'd read the question.
No, forget that. I have asked Jake about prospects since he over the last 2 draft classes. Actually, by the way, he's just lying. I can't remember when the last one was, but there was DK comps to someone. And I was like, that's not right. And I asked him because he was the DK guy.
You can't. It's a DK. That doesn't. No.
You can't comp to anyone, to be fair. But yeah. I was just checking because I didn't. Statistically, I had no idea. He just wants a 107. Yeah, I would say a second round pick's fair to add. I wouldn't dump more than 1 second round pick on it. And then again, 2 seconds wouldn't. If you really want who you think you're getting at the 107, 2 seconds shouldn't turn you off it. But I think they're being dicks.
But
I mean, 2 seconds on top of that.
If they're like top half, I don't want to do that because he did say his team needs a lot of help, and there are going to be somewhat decent players in the beginning of the second. But if you have like the 208 through the 212, at that point I'd just be like,
well, he said it's a 14 teamer. If you go,
even okay, so the 210 to the 214.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
take. I've got more. It's fine. They grow every year. Yeah. Leave us go top 6. I'm just ruining your trade questions at this point.
You can't ruin trade questions.
Right. No. I don't know if that's a robe or cardigan, but it's beautiful, Russ. I actually think
it's a cardigan. It's Hufflepuff.
It's Hufflepuff, yeah.
I do. It's like my grandma's sweater. I love it.
I could go get my Ravenclaw hat, put it on.
I have no Harry Potter items. I speak with an
accent. Peter Howard, educated at Hogwarts.
I probably have one of the books. Hey, there's one. That's one of the books right there. There you go.
Waiting for Peter to just go, Accio Harry Potter book.
That would have been cool.
No, you can't get him for Swift.
Okay, that I
Khalil Herbert.
Swift for Herbert.
LOL
Swift.
for sure. Like, you're not getting him first for Herbert.
No,
Sorry.
he still hasn't gone in our startup, and we're in the 10th.
Did we make it to the 10th?
Herbert isn't. Isn't valued.
Maybe we're not in the 10th. Maybe we're in the 9th.
We're definitely in the 9th. I'm waiting for the 10th to try and trade up again. That's why my ears perked when you said 10th.
Yeah, we're at 907. He has not gone, but the 201 has gone.
Oh, Joe Mixon, gross, Addison.
He saw my Derrick Henry, and he was like, "I have to make a move."
Oh, gotta start taking those old guys.
Gotta make moves. Davin Cook's next. Justin Johnson. What is the dynasty market value or pick price of Gus Edwards or Jeff Wilson?
Like, you can't even get a ham sandwich. Like, do you want a piece of bread? Like, you'd get the.
I would not give you my ham sandwich. I'm gonna get enjoyment out of eating that ham sandwich. Running backs always worth rostering, but that doesn't always translate into always having dynasty worth. And
Right.
like the way I did that, that was a little Zach's here. I got to up my word game.
I liked it.
But yeah, that unfortunately, that's it. That no one wants to give you a second. When you start talking about a third, they're like, "I'll give you that when I need him." Maybe, I guess that's what I was saying earlier as well. Like, unfortunately, I don't think they have any.
Right.
The value's low enough that if you put them in trades, it just looks like it's one of those trades made by a trade calculator. If I add enough of these quarters, eventually I get to $1, and they're more insta rejects. Not much, mate. At John Johnson. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to read into your conversation there. Tony is generally an unstable bloke. Don't know him. Production-wise, yes. Expecting that bit to go away seems unwise. I tend
It's a lot of fun to watch play, though. Like, I remember those first few games with him on the Giants when he was healthy and he played. Like, that man's ability to change direction, like, hurts my knees when I watch.
He's phenomenal physically. Even I can see when not watching ever that he's very fun to watch, capable of many things. But I tend to believe what players tell me they are the first time. Swift, buy or sell? For what? Right now, I suspect in most leagues he's more of a buy.
I'm having trouble. I'm trying.
More of a buy.
And I'm also having trouble selling, so it doesn't really. I don't think it's either.
Just window shop for Swift. Just walk.
Well, like,
He's
I'm
not
buying him in a
close
couple
to
leagues,
buy.
but then I drafted him in TA 11, and I just wanted to keep trading, so I tried to trade Swift away, and no one wanted him.
Like, no, I saw your deal. I'm good. No. Drampion. That is always the way I will say it.
Doctor.
Because I probably wouldn't even bring it up unless you, like, if you stopped saying that. If you just went like, "Hey, Drampion, hard to predict."
No, I'm gonna say it that way and bring it up. You realize that? I just accept it.
I realize that now.
I find it funny. Unless you threaten to go away, then I'll stop. Hard to predict, of course, but most running back free agents could be running back ones. Free agents that. Why am I having trouble reading? But most running back free agents that could be running back ones are taken. Do you think the Bears hold or use Khalil Herbert as a running back one? I know there's potential to draft a running back. I think they're going to draft someone. They're going to bring in competition. And Khalil Herbert was pretty good with his chances, though. Like we were saying, we don't think he has much value, but I don't not like him where he's being valued, if that makes sense. Like, I think he's pretty decent.
Bring in someone like A-Chain. Like, they'll go bring in a receiving back.
They're bringing someone in. Yeah, that's
like they
what
just.
they're
I mean, I thought I remember Herbert being able to catch the ball, but they just stopped throwing it to him. So they'll probably just bring in a receiving back.
Bears are an odd franchise, but you can say that about every franchise, to be fair, for one reason or another. But
I mean, he also.
I feel like he earned the job there for a while with Montgomery. He was out for a little while, but then they gave it straight back to Montgomery.
As soon as Henry came back, they just gave it right back to him. Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't good enough because he did great things when he had. So I like the idea, But like we were saying for that other guy, he doesn't carry much dynasty value. But at his dynasty value, I'm pretty happy to roster him right now. I do expect them to bring in competition in the draft, though. This is a draft class to do it. There's not a lot of Bijan Robinsons, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of good running backs deeper down here that is going to be competitive for roster space and opportunities in the NFL. Like, don't underrate the class that way. Not that you were doing that. Gavin Ferguson, Cowboys, making cap room for Diggs. Really? Who follows the Cowboys and not the Bills. Don't you love that that social media is now,
love
built into the conspiracy theory of, yeah. Debbie Carter knocked that tweet at the damn park, by the way. It's relevant every year.
Okay, so if I'm reading Twitter correct, there is like a World Baseball Championship thing going on, and it looks like
most of my timeline's been baseball related.
Puerto Rico won, and during the celebration, a player that is on the Mets busted his knee.
That's not
during the celebration. During the celebration.
During the celebration. Sorry, I missed it.
During the celebration.
That's cool. Jake Anderson, Gibbs is going to be a top 5 dynasty running back very, very soon. Do you mean points per game? I would honestly ask. Like, I think he's the second running back in this class. I have high hopes. I rank him in the top 12 in dynasty right now. But I have concerns. He's Swift-like, and Swift has always disappointed people a lot. Not because I don't think he's been good, because they expected something else. This is something else Zach was telling me on the podcast, and I think it's accurate. And I fear that for Gibbs, but I think he's good. And I think we should value him top 12 at least right now.
I mean, I think top 6 is not out of the top 6 or 7 is not out of the realm. I mean, you're talking.
I wouldn't shake a stick at it.
No, so you're talking Bijan, McCaffrey,
Barkley,
Breece Hall, Taylor Barkley,
and
then you're pretty close
Swift.
To there. No, I don't.
You're gonna have people put Walker in there, maybe.
Absolutely not.
I said people, not me or
you.
you.
That's Walker and ETN slide up there because we run out.
But like, Gibbs gets drafted early and to the right to a good team, he'll jump above a couple of those.
And he should.
Yeah, it's literally Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Christian McCaffrey, Ken Walker, Saquon. Ken Walker is above Saquon Barkley right now.
Yeah, that's
startup ADB. Travis Etienne, then Austin Eckler, Najee Harris. I'm not seeing a lot of people we missed. Like, I think we got it. That's all of them. So, yeah, top 7 easily right now before the draft. Yeah. I just got him as running back 10 in a month.
Jake, nice. I think you're right. I think he's gonna climb.
Swift. If it's Dynasty League.
100% Swift. I don't care what league.
Redraft wise, do you think there's a chance that redraft wise Mixon pays off?
Swift over Mixon.
I mean, there's a chance.
Me too. I just thought I'd ask. There's a chance, but
I just saw Addison Hayes, who's smarter than I am, take him in the 9th round. So
this is not that smart
because Swift got taken in the 4th.
How am I doing on the British slang, Peter? Excellent. So excellent, I missed it. No,
pip pip, telio, cheerio, all that jazz.
That's all the slang I know too.
Hey, since he's trying to put offensive lineman.
Nice. I'd say hold is probably where Swift is at, especially
the right answer. Yeah.
Russ is saying he can't get any movement on him. Yeah. My 104 on Burks for Higgins.
I do that.
I mean, well, yes, you would.
I mean,
that's a late first. The 104
is Addison.
Quarterback.
Probably Higgins, but it's tempting. 10 team 1 QB PPR start 10. What you have doesn't affect it, by the way, but it's good to know. Thanks very much. He has Wilson, Devontae Smith, Hollywood, and Burks.
Oh, but having Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, and T. Higgins would make me so happy.
What do you hate, Addison?
Addison hates.
Well, we know you do.
No, Jordan Addison.
No, I like
104.
It's Higgins. It's Higgins. But I would pull that face for a lot longer before accepting it. Like, you're getting a good wide receiver there. I think, personally, like one of my top 2.
Yeah.
Maybe Gibbs, depending on how the draft goes, which would be great. And Burks, I genuinely think he's a little underrated. Can't go on that train. There's risk there, but I think he would be drafted in the same range this year, put it that way, in this draft class. So that's too early first for Higgins, which is about right. I would take the Higgins side because he's young, he's good, there's less risk in it. Just dynasty wise, that's what swayed me, but I want Addison. I'll tell you that.
I think it's a good trade either way.
But it's a good trade. Yeah.
I will 1000% just pull the bias card and say, give me Higgins.
Yeah, you got an out. And I don't mind it. No, I think that's it. Get Higgins, yeah. Zach, where are you?
No, I mean, you guys hit it.
You might be slightly higher than, because you're much more firmer on your opinion, so you might be even more sure of Burks.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's a pretty even trade. I think the thing that would make it be the Higgins side for me is the risk is on the Burks Addison side.
That's right.
And so
yeah. Alec, I did earn the 102. That does matter. But that's probably largely because of the injuries I saw in your roster, I guess, and Pollard coming on down the stretch. Previous year was second in the league. The league is pretty even, starting only 8. Chase Cup, Devontae got in dead last year. That's why I tanked. Yeah. I don't think it changes my answer, but it was important context, I think.
Yeah.
It's Nick. 1 QB, 12 team. That's awesome. Start 8. Would you guys trade ETN? Yes. ETN, the 102, the 105, and a 25 first, reaching a bit, for Waddle and the 101?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sean Robinson and Waddle.
Yes. Waddle
yes.
in the 101?
Yes. I just saw Waddle. I'm like, oh, that's a little. What? Yep.
I thought it was going to stop at Waddle too. I was ready to say no.
Man, start 8 and you get to start Waddle and Bijan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hello all. Hello
Hey.
Toronto Dave. How you doing, bud? Alec. Also, it's the FFPC league, so getting early picks is fairly easy. I don't know that, but it's good to know. I guess it's relatively easy to get.
I believe the way. I think it's how we work a toilet bowl for the 101, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Justin Johnson, give Baker Mayfield the 204, get the 112. Yeah, sure. Yeah, get the 112. I don't see a huge tier. Yeah, not a huge. I mean, you're in a tier at the end of the first round pretty clearly. Like I said, just get value out of Baker Mayfield if you can. Best Ball Dynasty is becoming my favorite type of league. It is a lot less high maintenance, isn't it? Yeah, I actually really enjoy it. No lineup worries and depth chart actually matters. Good point. All the fun of Dyna with none of the stress. I still feel the stress, but yeah, I think it's a good format. I do like the week to week. It depends on your league, obviously, and if there's fun people in the league, it's fun. But the head-to-head competition adds a little bit if you're in a league where you've got a good group chat and you're talking at each other every week. I would say that.
Well, hold on. I have to put words together. Most of the best ball dynasty leagues I am in are still head-to-head. They just don't set lineups.
Oh, okay. That would be better. Mm-hmm.
So that I like.
Smash accept that, JJ. I agree. What are you doing with Ritter in Superflex? Trading him away if he has value?
No. He's my QB3 in a couple of weeks. Like, I mean, yeah, whatever.
Well done on these questions, lads. Appreciate you all. Good night. Thank you very much, Zuli.
Well, I mean,
inherited a 12-team start 9. Would you do Lamb for Olave and Garrett? Yes. Olave and Garrett Wilson? I think that, yes.
Yeah,
that's a top 12 wide receiver for a top 12 wide receiver plus Garrett Wilson. That's
who's also a top 12 wide receiver.
This is wide receiver 3 for 7 and 8.
Isn't he slightly out? But either way, yes, it doesn't matter. This is
or 4 for 7 and 8 because AJ Brown.
If he is, he shouldn't be.
This was my joke, by the way. Lamar needs to play all 17 games to earn my money. Some angry boomer. Yes, exactly. He doesn't.
No, you're right. Wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So yeah, you talk about wide receiver for 1. Yeah. That's easy change. Zeke to LAC would make sense.
Even
Eckler was out. Yeah, you're right. Actually,
I mean, Chicago would make sense. Like, there are a bunch of places that would make sense, just because running backs do that. He's not that good now. Bortles is bad now, for sure.
But for fantasy, he was pretty good there for a while. Like Jake was saying, he was good fantasy betting. That you got all these points, you just had to hold your nose while you scored them, and it was fine. Because you got him for such low value. No one ever. Don't let anyone con you. No one ever liked Blake Bortles. In the sense that he's gonna be the next Mahomes or anything. We
Bobby Koch liked Blake Bortles.
He loved Blake Bortles.
Well, he loves that underrated vet though. I think that was part of it. Who's your fantasy winner from free agency? Biggest loser? I think we talked about this a little bit before. So far, I think Juju's somewhat of a winner. He got a contract. I think that's pretty cool.
I am stoked about Juju to the Patriots the more I think about it. But still, I don't think it changes much value-wise.
I'm glad
because he also left the Chiefs.
Maybe come to see things how I saw them. Maybe decided I was right. Every now and again it happens, and I like to enjoy it when it does.
I will never admit you were right.
This we know. Mike Hoy, what are your thoughts about a league that rewards a championship to the best overall record, no playoffs? Head-to-head records are kind of suspect in itself, to be honest, but I do like the idea of finding a way that rewards the best team, not the variance of the playoffs. I think that can be I think
that's where we're heading, because right now we work so hard to get rid of the randomness of who makes the playoffs, but then we still leave playoffs to chance.
We want to play against each other, but at the same time, when you get to the end and your all play is like Zach's in the SFB, but you're bottom of the league, that sucks, and everyone knows it kind of sucks. And so trying to find a balance between having fun playing against people, but also accepting that some teams are actually better than their records say. Find the way that works best for you, and whatever works. Equity loans. With Rodgers going to the Jets, what would you pay for Moore? Elijah Moore. I would get ahead of it. He's been worth a second for a minute, so he would go up from there, presumably, which is why I think he's been in a window for a while. If you're interested in that idea, I'd send an offer. As part of a trade, put Moore in it. Don't trade for Moore. Trade for him. Put him in a trade where he's valued at a second. I think that would be the way to do it right now, because there is noise around it. And afterwards, he's probably going to be a hold, because no one wants to pay more than a second. No one wants to pay give more than that.
Are you worried at all that they go get Alan Lazard too?
They did get Alan Lazard.
So now you've got Lazard, you've got Wilson.
I think Moore is better, but I'm worried in general. That doesn't add to my anxiety. I think he's a decent bit risk at his current cost, whatever we're going to call it. But there's significant risk there.
At least
we don't know what it's really all about. What they decide at this point. I think he's been good enough, but he's not a unique skill set. They can't just go, we're done.
I don't want to throw water on it, but you get a veteran quarterback who has been notoriously anti guys that he hasn't played with and rookies, and now he's asking to bring in all the guys that he played with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah. Odell Beckham is in that list of people never played with, but they hang out.
Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
That adds up.
I didn't realize he was in the league.
Aaron Rodgers being friends kind of somehow makes so much sense.
He's not in ADP, if that helps.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk there. And to be fair, I'm interested in Elijah Moore. It's not the trade or anything else, but I have to factor that into his value arc. I just thought he did really well as a rookie, well enough at least. And it was a great prospect, and I tend to try and bet on that when I can.
Oh no, I liked him as a prospect, but like there comes a point where you're like, well, he had 4 good weeks in 2 years.
Yeah. No, it's not untrue. But I'm still right here riding and dying with Juju, so you kind of know where my chips laying with that. Donald needs draft capital to shoot up ADP. Donald?
It's true.
Oh, Washington.
Darnell
Right.
Washington,
Yeah. Because he already tested well. that very well.
Yeah.
I suspected he was going to be this year's like Jelani Woods. He's got the physical off the chart. I don't see it in the receiving game. And with Darnold, it seemed like he barely did it.
Yeah, well,
but you're right. There might be a jump because of that. Yeah,
he also played on the team with, as much as everyone says Kyle Pitts was the generational tight end prospect. Really, it's Brock Bowers, and that's where Darnell Washington played on the same offense as Bowers. So
fair.
I mean, every now and then, I've watched 3 games so far of Washington. And in every game, he has a play or 2 where he slips a seam route, and you're just like, "Holy, there's Gronk." You know, no, and not that he will be that, but that it's that.
Well, that's the thing. Tight ends are weird. Normally, I want to go on my dickish rant about but we're talking about upside that has never existed. Players have always done something, but a tight end, I'm like, yeah, sure, maybe, because if you're gonna do it now is I think a really good point, Jeannie.
Yep. $
8 million with incentives for J-Rob.
Yes.
$8 million is never $8 million in the NFL.
No.
But, yeah. It's more money than I'll ever see in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but I just gave up 2 second-round picks for Khalil Shakir.
For what?
For more.
Oh, that's a lot.
Jamal Williams to the Saints. That's the next thing he says.
Oh no, for Elijah. He asked what we would pay for Elijah Moore, and then
okay. 2 seconds is too much.
Zach put that one together for us.
I think that's probably a second too high.
Yeah,
because Shakir doesn't really.
A second and Shakir is fine. Yeah, send it. But the 2 seconds, I'm like, giving up Javonte Williams to get the 204.
No,
it's too much fun. No, he scores touchdowns. He's a pretty. Jamal Williams will be good upside with the 204 pick. I mean, that would be pretty lit. And if you already have Javonte Williams,
I want to get off of Javonte, but wait, every minute that passes, Javonte is closer to getting healthier.
He will get healthy. There will be a workout video. There alone, you will get better value than this.
Yep.
But
don't do this.
If you've already done it, I mean, you used to get fun in the draft and maybe hit the upside. But I definitely think Javonte's a safer bet to be worth more later. And Jamal Williams to the Saints.
Yeah.
That happened?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
And this is when I said that the Bengals signed a good offensive tackle.
Bengals signed Orlando Brown. I nearly said Bloom. That's how
I read it. That's how I read it on Twitter when I first saw it.
Oh, everybody needs a good elf, little Legolas.
Hey, you guys! I can't do sloth voice. So I'm doing the Goonies. Which rookie wide receiver and running back are you most excited about not being talked about getting lit? A lot of caveats there. Who's the best player ever that no one knows? I mean, the Dynasty market's pretty sharp, but I'll try my best. Talked about late 2nd, 3rd round rookie drafts. Okay, a lot of ways of answering that. Again, I think most of the best players are already talked to death. Because again, honestly,
I will bring up Penn State pass catcher and Matt Foreman's child's namesake, Parker Washington.
Okay.
Because he's a Penn State
pass catcher. 3rd round rookie pick, more of a 3rd round, right? I don't think he's getting 2nd round. I haven't heard of him. Not that I know of everyone.
He'll probably he could be in a 3rd round. Yeah.
You've never heard of Parker Washington?
No, I know the name. I just talked about and heard of is different. I have to say I don't know his profile off the top of my head. I'm actually bringing up my rank sheet. That's why I'm pausing.
He's like a super light AJ Brown.
Right.
Dollar store AJ Brown, I think were Matt's words. Yeah. I mean, if we're talking late 2nd in rookie drafts, it's probably gonna. But I mean, Marvin Mims was taken to the 208 in that draft. The 1 QB draft I was talking about before.
Mims is a good answer, but I think Zach's mentioned him a lot, so I don't feel right taking it. Rashee Rice is someone you've mentioned a lot as well.
Rashee Rice gets talked about a lot. There was a big dude you guys talked about on the show, and not Tillman. The only reason I enjoyed you guys talking about Tillman was hearing J Mike be mean about someone.
He does not like Tennessee.
Does not like Tennessee.
That
but there was another big dude, and I can't remember who it was. Xavier?
Oh, Xavier Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
Yeah. Hutchinson.
Yeah.
He's a big dude, and I like X types. So
he was interesting. I like Rakim Jarrett too, who's out of Maryland. Who's I don't think very many people are talking about him, but he didn't have much by the way of offensive statistics necessarily, but watching him play, you're like he knows how to get open. He's a possession guy, so.
Look, we have...
I'm really insecure about my deep players this year because I'm not hitting on the same names, and I don't know if it's
Smith, Steph Diggs, DJ Moore. Like, Maryland wide receivers are good. That's...
I've heard some talk about him, but Nathaniel Dell, who I believe is also called Tank, is actually a little to that profile, which is pretty good.
You need to
He's playing in the American
and block somebody.
Okay. But Nathaniel Dell is interesting. I also kind of like Trey Palmer.
Jonathan Mingo, the best sleeper in the class.
Oh yeah, Jake has been on Mingo big time.
I haven't actually got to him, and the more you talk about him, the less likely I am to get there.
I like Mingo's name.
It's a solid name.
Is he related to Barkevius because he got like the short end of first names on that one?
I want to say Josh Downs, by the way, because it feels like we only talk about him to talk about how he's not talked about. But I don't really like Josh Downs. I think he's pretty good. Running back Tajay Spears came up for me recently, although I'm pretty early on. I haven't knuckled down.
He got Senior Bowl, a lot of Senior Bowl hype.
He did, but it's quite... I haven't heard a lot about him since, at least. And he's coming from a terrible conference, which just fits the description of under, for me, excuses. But
see, it's really funny.
I don't know what you want from me. I've looked at so many. Tajay Spears is probably the lesser known. And Chase Brown, I thought, had a solid skill set. Wrote him up to DLF a month ago or so.
NYC 86718 goes, have we covered Cedric Tillman? And I said, not Cedric Tillman, the other guy. So kind of I said his name. Does that count? So I think that's a lot of answers.
I'm working on it. Yeah, those are the names that come off the top of my head. Yeah. Tyler Gammon. How would you value JSN in Dynasty rankings? That's a fair question.
Okay, in February DLF ADP, he was 16-ish, I want to say. And that's only going to go up. Cameron Ward Truther down there says Puka Nacua is 18. A good late wide receiver. He was the person I took at the very end with my 410, 411 in that rookie draft, purely because he's like 6'1", 215. I'm like, okay.
Someone asked me to look at him too. Yeah, his yards per rep run numbers and his receiving yards team pass attempt numbers are off the charts. Because of where he's playing. Like, I've seen way too many players coming from that particular conference with those numbers to believe that they're that good.
We thought,
but like I say, he's got a solid build. He's getting some buzz.
We think his people catching his ball should be good.
No,
okay. I can only tell you what I can tell you, and his numbers compare pretty average compared to the top prospects from that particular conference, of which there is no hit average because we haven't seen one. So it's really hard for me to compare him to any that were successful from there.
February, JSN was wide receiver 18, but here are some of the wide receivers above him. Like the top three right away: Debo, Devontae Adams, and Cooper Kupp. He'll go above them once the rookie draft rolls around.
Yeah, I think wide receiver 15 was where I was coming out because that's just below Drake London, and I think that's fair. At least Drake London had a solid rookie season, but it's of a tier, you know?
That's around where he probably is.
Okay. Kadarius Toney going 40th wide receiver on Underdog today. There's upside in the best ball format for sure. Josh Palmer, right? Josh Palmer. I like him a lot. The Chargers. On air with Underdog said he would be the wide receiver 1 for KC next year. And 20th come August. This is with Juju coming back. Bye.
I'm so confused.
That is a perfect example of what we're relying on to sell Kadarius Toney, like that all day on Twitter, and we'll be
but he actually loves Toney, so he means it.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, but you're gonna, but again, like you're gonna hear that, like that's gonna be the echo chamber. Kadarius Toney is gonna be the wide receiver 1 in Kansas City.
It's just like Tyreek Hill. Kind of.
McCole Hardman is going to be the wide receiver 1 in Kansas City.
Local liability, 10-team 1 QB. I sent Tannehill, Jimmy G, and the 206 for Rodgers and the 103. Did he do a good job? Before Rodgers and Jimmy G team news.
301.
Sorry.
Who cares?
Yeah. It's probably Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Points wise, it's probably Rodgers. But in a 10-team 1 quarterback, like whatever.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of.
In a 1 quarterback league, these quarterbacks don't matter. So eventually, it's a 206 for one.
But I mean, like Rodgers could like conceivably matter if you squint, but none of the others.
Yeah.
Can. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think it's fine. The Rodgers side, but it's like Zach says, it's a bag of sure.
Yeah.
Before Rodgers, shit. Late as usual, catching up on that wasn't me. I don't swear. I was quoting a swear. Catching up on 2 chipmunk mode. Oh, thank you.
So I have to. Well, I listen to podcasts on 1.6. I don't know how I got there from 1.5, but I went up that 0.1 for some reason. But I have to listen to my show to record at the time we do the sleeper trade of the week. I have no idea what the shit I'm saying. Like I don't know. I don't understand. Like when I actually get started and I get talking and I end up talking fast, I don't know how anyone understands anything I say at 1.5 or 1.6. Like hearing me on 2 must literally just sound like.
And then sleeper trade of the week.
I edit my podcast at 1.5 because I just want to get it done.
I don't do that.
Yeah, I know. But I listen through and I cut stuff out and I add the intro and stuff. But every now and again, I'll catch some of my show at normal speed. I'm like, is that what I really sound like? Because I only know of my voice at the 1.5 speed. So. And it actually sounds like human pace. So I must talk real slow, to be honest.
Well, it's funny. Like I listened to, I bought the audiobook version of the Mel Brooks autobiography. I had to speed it up. Oh, like, oh my God. Like he's a 90-something-year-old man. And he's just like, so back in World War II, I'm just like, oh my God, Mel, I love you. Talk faster, but don't give yourself a heart attack, man. So I'm like, all right, let's go to like 1.3 and see how it goes. And it actually sounds like a conversational speed. I had to speed it up. I couldn't take it.
Sorry, I'm trying to think this through. Give the 101, the 102, the 108, the 111, and 224 first. The 208, 25.
Yes.
Receive.
Send picks to go get Josh Allen.
Allen, Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on here, but I don't think there's a way you can go wrong getting those.
Miles Sanders in that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 firsts, and then picks we don't care about.
Yeah, so do it.
And 1, 2 are late and 2 are 24. Yes. Still do that, Brandon.
Like I have to be honest, I would give up the probably for in a super flex league. I would probably just give up the entire first round for Josh Allen and Justin Jefferson.
He hates Addison too. I don't know what's going wrong with these people.
Well, I listen to Zach. So Zach hates Addison. I hate Addison.
Pierce at 24 first and second for ETN.
Yeah.
24 first. I mean, it's fine, but don't trade for ETN right now.
That feels like a lot. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't know how to value Pierce because I don't like him, but I also can't sell him for anything.
Yeah.
So, but like, still, that feels like that feels like 2 firsts for ETN, and I'm not there. Even if one is 24.
This is fine for a top 12 running back, but I think that's a weak.
I don't think Pierce is a first-round pick. I think Pierce is a second-round pick. So I think it's a first and 2 seconds, and your first is worth a second. So it's really 3 seconds for ETN.
Yeah,
when you say like that, I probably I'd be more willing to do it, but
like I'd do it. I think so. Here's the thing, though, Russ. I'm going to speak your language now. If you traded that to get ETN, do you think you could trade ETN for more than that? Because I think you can. I think ETN right now is a top 8.
I would rather hold my 24 first and see what I could do with Pierce in a second.
I think you could get into the top 4 with a trade with ETN for this draft class. You could do a lot of things with ETN. Yeah, I think it's the ETN side.
Okay.
And we're just hesitating because we're used to talking about how ETN shouldn't be valued that high, but there you go.
If Peter's right, then I strike what I said and go get ETN. Like if you could trade ETN for,
I think in the right deal.
Like if doing it now might be, I don't know, but like if you're telling me I could turn ETN into JSN, Addison, or Gibbs, I think I do that.
I think that's, you know your league better than we do, Jake, obviously, since we don't know your league, but that's the kind of way I would think about this trade. If you could turn, and even not, that's fine for your ETN, so you're probably not losing even if you can't get it. Yeah. Blair just inherited a team. All win now. Solid wide receivers, but have Chubb and Mixon. Do I trade one? For what, Blaine? I mean, yeah, you can. I would be actively trying to trade them, but they're hard trades right now. It's the off season. No one wants the old running backs in general, and they don't need their points right now. So you're mostly holding until the season would be my best guess. But if you can find someone to value them where their ADP is, then yes.
This is one where I would take Mixon and say, okay, I'll give you Mixon for Penny and 25 first. Because if Penny hits, he's undervalued right now. If Penny hits, he's in a tremendous offense. If he stays healthy, he's going to be great.
Right.
And you get a 25 first, so you have a little bit of insulated value. That's what I would be trying to do.
Good idea. Just add 2 weeks for every round in the playoffs.
Perfect.
Yes. Cameron Ward, Truther. 12 teams who flex with the 101 and Dak, or Trevor Lawrence in the 104. I think Dak in the 101 is my first reaction.
Yeah. T-Law in the 104 is my first reaction. Honestly, I think this is. Actually, no. Value-wise, it's the 101 and Dak, but everything else in me wants me to take T-Law in the 104.
You're just ready for the Trevor Lawrence ascension. I know.
I really like Trevor Lawrence and give me JSN on top. But value-wise, it is absolutely the 101.
But are you going to take JSN there in a super flex, though?
I might.
Yeah? If you do, I'm going to be very sad.
Draft, I might. If I can't trade back, I might just take my guy over a quarterback that I don't care about at that point. Because I traded for a lot of 104s because in my head, Bijan, Stroud, Young, JSN. So either I have a lot of picks that are worth more than I thought they were going to be, or I'm going to go against my own advice and just take the dude I want.
Have we covered Cedric Tillman?
The Dynasty Dummies. No. The Dynasty Dummies covered Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, the Hootenanny did cover him
last week on the Hootenanny. Do you want me to run down through Cedric Tillman right now? Tennessee.
If you want to, all right.
Wait.
What?
I was trying to think of something that J Mike said about it, but I can't remember. I just remember it being funny that he hated someone. But yeah, go ahead.
He doesn't like that shade of orange at all.
There's a much better shade of orange. Oh, that even works for this. I wasn't even talking about the Bengals. I was talking about Clemson.
Yeah. Oh, the big Clemson, big wide receiver. 6'3", 215 is a very good deep ball tracker. Winner at the catch point. Is very good at sinking his hips and separating on curls and comebacks. It's weird because we talked last week about about who's the fast guy? I can't come up with his name now. Hyatt.
Right.
So he and Hyatt playing the same offense. They both are very good in straight lines. Hyatt is good at going very fast in a straight line. Tillman is very good at going in a straight line, stopping and then coming back. And so like doing that sinking hips and that sort of thing. He's very physical post catch, and he gets yards after the catch by bullying corners. I do think that when he is contacted by a defender, he really has trouble re-separating, so he doesn't have that suddenness in his routes. And he does struggle to separate against man, especially because of that lack of quickness. And again, I think it's whether it's in his initial release or in that transition from catch to a runner, he just is not very fast. So like he's fine, but I see him as more of a possession receiver than being a really productive fantasy player. Better, I like him better than Hyatt, but again, he's my wide receiver. I don't know, 9. I think I'll look that up. But
yeah, Tillman's
11.
got 1 year. I've got him at 14. Tillman's got 1 year where he played more than 6 games. That was in his second season with Jalen Hyatt playing 9 games, as Zach mentioned. He's got like 8% slot rep, but a 16 ADOT. And I think his yards per route run was something like 2.3 with that. I want to say it should be better than that, but that's the whole point.
Well, he got injured too. Like he just this past season he had tightrope surgery on his ankle. So
yeah, that's why he played not a lot in the third season. But yeah, his receiving yards in pass attempt in that season was 2.9, which is excellent, but it's below average when you can take into consideration exactly how many air yards he was getting over the ball. He got 23% target share that year per game, which wasn't that far separated from Velus Jones. And honestly, the profile is about as impressive. I think he did, especially after what Zach said, he did something very well, but he's not exactly co-opting a huge part of the team's passing offense, considering how much of that passing offense was already under the ball before it even arrived to him. His yards per route run was 2.4, by the way, which is below average for his slot rate and his ADOT. That's it. I'm not. He looks like a pretty good producer from the SEC, but I don't have a lot of expectations for him in the NFL. Should get more draft capital than some players who did better relative to my process, but it's neither here nor there. Marvin Mims is a good answer. Yes, it is. Actually, I do quite like Marvin. Jonathan Mingo is the best sleeper in this class.
I still have to watch him. Jake has told me that I have to watch him, so I have to. He's on my list.
I don't think I've even added him yet.
Anybody Jake says, you just like cross them off.
Just don't add those stats. No, honestly, the reason
equals,
I haven't looked
he can't
at
make up. Because... Still has to prove it to me.
Equals don't count if parentheses Jake likes.
Okay, well here he is. Actually, the one thing you've told me is wrong, Jake. He's got like a 7.8 my initial pre-draft model, which is a pretty good, decent score actually. Coming from the SEC and the team he's coming from, he's got a 4.5 drafted rate. Slightly below average conference receiving yards per team pass attempt, though. It was like 1.6, which is terrible. Yards per route run was 1.3, which is also terrible. That fits. 220 pounds. What is that? 6'4"?
Oof.
6'2", 6'3".
Ross is just like he's the heightest.
Excuse me?
6'4".
Really good adjusted height.
Well, the thing is, I don't dislike people that are shorter, but
you wait till the show next week. Not this week's show, but the next week's show is going to be the quarterback show on the dummies, the Hootenanny, and that is definitely going to open with short people. Short people got no reason.
I had a lot of short friends, but I know that song very well.
That's happening. It's going to be.
Played 4 years Ole Miss. His last season was slightly better on yards per route run at 2.1, 2.2 receiving yards per team pass attempt. I am looking for something, not just saying something. 14 ADOT and a 35% slot route, 22% target share. Yeah, I can see why you thought I wouldn't like him. Off the top, it looks like a fourth-year senior breakout. I don't know. Puka Norka, like I said earlier, is someone I looked into because someone mentioned him in Discord. Yeah, his numbers look off the charts, but his numbers should look off the charts based on where he was playing. I can't exactly condemn him for that. But again, where was that? Was it the Cursor or whatever?
So yesterday on
Independence Conference, yeah,
BYU, yeah,
BYU. We had a guy. His name is Wes, but his handle is at WSCII. It's his initials, and he's the second. But when you just look at it, it says whiskey, like WSCII. So I named the episode a whiskey and a at WSCII. So it's a whiskey and a whiskey.
Whiskey and a whiskey.
I knew you'd appreciate.
I've never been to Belize.
8% of the team's rushing opportunities in his best season for Puka, which is interesting. Again, dynamic, but that feels like a great player in a small conference getting the ball just as much as they can get it, which makes sense.
I mean, that's at least what you want in that situation.
Yeah, he did what you would hope a good player would do in that conference. Don't get me wrong, but it's hard to compare him directly.
I haven't watched enough Puka to have an evaluation yet, but I've watched enough to know that he runs routes like Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura when he gets his arms down and he's like, I'm like, I'm watching. I'm like, this is great.
3 darts is too bad.
Peter, I barely recognize you at first. By the way, Kurt Cobain doppelganger. I ain't nearly that attractive, but I did clean up a little bit for an interview I had today.
But the hair is flowing beautifully. It's not like out there. It is like.
Well, I actually brushed it today. I didn't just wash it. I needed it. I didn't have time to get it cut, so I was like, I thought I would at least push it back here a little bit behind my ears, because if I walk in, just me job.
Oh, sorry.
How we value Swifty now? I think we've been over Swift a lot. He's a top 12 dynasty running back I'm actually interested in, but I don't think there's much value in him. I think most people hold him. Well, I would trade ETN into him. I'd trade Walker into him too, to be honest with you, given the value differences.
But I think you're gonna in 2 weeks have a better it will be easier to trade for him. It will cost less once people process the fact that Montgomery went there. But Swift's upside is still the same as it always has been. So, take that value.
Yeah, that's a good point. Recovering Ridley Truth, I finally made it. Is it crazy to still think Butte?
No, that's not crazy.
Could be a thing. No, I mean, I moved him down after the combine. The entire question with Butte is, what's the NFL going to think? Not because the NFL determines success, but it is going to determine where he gets drafted, where he gets landing spot, and that's going to affect the path
whether he plays,
and how high you want to draft him, or I want to draft him. Mainly because if he played more and put up the stats I expect he could have in college outside of those injuries, then I would be more agnostic to what the NFL is going to do. But with those questions and an NFL uncertainty because there's off-field concerns, and then it doesn't look like he put it up in the combine, there's mounting concern. But I still do think he looks like he could have been a much better prospect. But we have all these questions. But
he's drafted before like round 4 or 5 at this point.
Yeah,
which is pretty death knellish for fantasy.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, it doesn't. Yeah, for me, it doesn't. But
look, if you're drafted late or not drafted at all, you're not going to be good. I waited till he drank too, and I really just got disappointed.
But the great thing though is you're going to get a discount on him if he does fall in the NFL draft, which is makes that pick worth taking the swing.
if he falls to the third round in rookie drafts, I will have him on every draft I have a third round pick in.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
2 years ago he was.
The good thing about Butte as well is if he's a lower drafted prospect because of these concerns, he's not like a lot of the undrafted or lower drafted players I chase. He was doing it in a good conference. The NFL is not going to forget that either if he does show something. Like, he's kind of a different quality prospect to Mike Ellis draft capital. So he's going to continue to be interesting. He could very well be a thing, is the point. 12 team Superflex, DJ Moore and Debo, or the 112, the 201, and the 202.
Moore and Debo.
DJ Moore and Debo.
I'll take the wide receivers.
I would do Debo alone for that.
You could add the 203, 204, 205, 206, 207, and 208. It would still be.
No, you hit the 208 and I switch.
Okay, that's fair.
I would throw in a 24 second. That's where we need it.
But yeah, it's DJ Moore and Debo.
Yeah, it's the wide receivers.
All day, every day. And to be clear, Reed, like, I went and looked him up. Like, before this trade, he was getting people into Justin Jefferson. Like, add a pick, a late first round pick, and you get Justin Jefferson. Like, that's where he was before this trade. So, like, DJ Moore didn't fall in value. And Debo was worth that already. Really, truth, maybe this will be the Sky Moore year. Stop it. I'm trying to make me spit out my coke. Everyone's saying he'd be a 2023 play at first, then left him for dead after week 2.
What if you did it before the combine?
What if you expected him to be bad and then he was bad, and so I'm not reacting to that week 2 thing? Like,
everyone was saying he'd be a 2023 play at first, then left. Who said he'd be a 2023 play?
Here's the thing. Sky Moore was healthy. There was more than enough opportunity to earn some opportunity, and he didn't do it. The idea he's going to do better now because there's less competition relies on the fact that he couldn't do that against the tight end 4 on that depth chart who got some targets. He didn't get those targets. Like he can outcompete McCall Hardman this year because the top of the depth chart's weaker. He couldn't outcompete the bottom of the depth chart. How's he going to outcompete McCall Hardman now, or Travis Kelce, or whoever they add, or whoever they don't add? Like, the logic doesn't work out for me, and there's literally 0 examples of this happening. So, like, that's where I'm at. It's not like I don't want him to succeed. It's like there's no evidence that is a career path players go on. There's no logic to the idea that he didn't get enough targets because Juju was there. Like, that doesn't make sense no matter which way I slice it. And so, yeah, I hope it is, but there's no reason for me to think it. Sorry, I didn't mean to rant. But he just said undrafted free agents don't produce, so he put me in a bad mood.
I didn't say they don't produce. I said they'd be bad.
Yeah,
different? Is that different? I'm not sure.
Sit there.
All I know is Adam Thielen got cut.
Yeah, Adam Thielen got cut. And Austin Eckler's demanding a trade.
It's the only power I have.
He said it first.
Yeah, but yeah. Tim Shady, is Sam Laporta the next good tight end from Iowa?
He's got as much chance as anybody. Like, this tight end class is actually really exciting. We started to talk about this on the Crossroads, and then we got like sidetracked and went in a different direction. But like, this tight end class has multiple players who could be first round picks in the NFL.
Sam Laporta's 2024.
Okay, I think he's believe
one of the ones who switched it up.
He was at the combine this year, Pete.
Was he?
Yep.
I've got him listed as 24.
That could be.
No, I'm probably wrong. I haven't looked into him. He doesn't have a model score because of it. Quick glance. Yeah, it looks decent. I'm not going to get much off a tight end profile by just looking at it, but technically he's ranked number 1 in 2024. So yeah, I'll check that out, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think he very well could be. He got a really good athlete. It was him, Kuntz, Darnell Washington, and the kid from Notre Dame. Like, this is a really good. No, and Kincaid.
Yeah, I know. I was adding.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is a really deep tight end class. Michael Mayer is the kid from Notre Dame.
I think he's
no Notre Dame tight ends. It just doesn't work.
Well, you were hurt by Chase Claypool?
No, I was hurt by Tyler Eifert.
Oh, was good
when he was Miami. Only Miami tight ends.
Yeah, I haven't looked at tight ends yet, which is why I haven't cleaned that up. Charlie Kohler, that was Iowa State, to be fair.
That was
Hawkinson, Kittle, Fant. Okay, yeah.
Tight end you.
Easily. Just watch Space Wars and call it a night. I will agree. Hi, guys. Great show, guys. Pacheco and Montgomery sells. They are if you can get something like a second round pick for them. But Pacheco's,
I think, they are losing linemen. They lost one or two players on defense that I can't remember right now, to the point where I don't think we get luxury pick of a higher running back, which makes me worried about Pacheco's play. And he was doing really well towards the end. Just, Jet McKinnon, you can't blame him for losing touches.
I mean, Jared can. No, I was really surprised by Pacheco's ADP after the season, and even now, no one wants him. So it's hard to say a guy is a sell. Montgomery's on that same Zeke list. No one wants him right now, at least.
Yeah, Montgomery's.
So they're definitely not sells. In fact, they're more interesting buys.
That's the thing with players like that, though. And I had a tweet in response to, because someone was like, "This is the what are you doing as fantasy owners? You're waiting to see the draft with Pacheco and Algier and Pierce." And I said, well, really what you should have done was traded them in, because there were points during the season where they were trading for a first round pick.
Yeah, if you wanted out on them, you're too late.
So yeah. And again, I agree with you on Pacheco is in a decent. I drafted him in the startup in the Trade Addicts 11. I don't think
this is why we tell you to sell some running backs, even though they work out. This is actually a video I'm making at the moment because it's such a common question. And one of the points that I want to make in it is, look, if you've got running backs in the off, I know every Giga Chad like and subscribe me guy is going to tell you how smart they are by you should sell these running backs right now. But if you've got them, then you miss the window. They sell better in season because they're scoring points. I honestly think that's true with most running backs. You can't. That's that guy who was asking us about Kenneth Walker sell. The only reason is because we thought his ADP and his keep trade cut meant that he was getting valued that way. And if he's not in your league, then he's on the rest of the running back list of you're not going to get what you need for him.
Right.
That's the position. That's the way it works. Everyone sells running back because it's rock solid position, but they tell you that after they don't have to make claims about their points no more, and it's too late. That's my opinion. Sorry, I didn't mean to stumble over you there, but I was having trouble getting the words out. What you
look good though.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. That's not common. Nothing. Did I finish it up? Did I say it? Okay. Cool.
No, yeah, you're good.
Calvin Ridley for the 2024 first.
Calvin Ridley.
That's probably
Calvin Ridley.
The team is a complete blow up rebuild.
No, Calvin Ridley.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know. I know that you're a Calvin Ridley guy.
No, 24.
I love Calvin Ridley, but it's in a rebuild. It's not the 29.
The reason we liked him earlier is because you didn't have to put something with a 1 in front of it to get him, and now that you can, everyone's saying sell. That's what being wrong looks like. They're too far behind Zach. So, yeah.
I have Calvin Ridley on some rebuilds for this exact reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would be thrilled if someone sent me a 24 first for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Throw in a second and get a 25 first, too. Woo-hoo, let's go.
Superflex, start 10. Mahomes or Trevor Lawrence and the 103.
Mahomes.
It's Mahomes. Mahomes pretty easily. Thank you, though. The days of getting a first for Pierce stopped by week 6. Again, another running back example of if they hit first quite often.
I don't know. Spam 2 seconds. I don't know if I want 2 seconds or if I want the production Pierce is going to give me. And again, I would have sold. That's why you drafted him. You draft him to flip that for the first that you can get for his production.
And don't get me wrong, there's reasons to keep him. Like if you were competitive and you were winning, and you were going to the final, you don't trade him necessarily unless you get something silly, because winning is more important than value at the end of the day. That's why we're trying to recruit value. But in most circumstances, mostly running backs are. I've got the points, and we look for windows. Like is Swift too low right now? No, not really. Walker's too high, but people are still struggling to get any good trades. So the ADP is just a lie essentially at this point. It's much easier to trade a running back when you need to start a running back next week. Wide receivers tend to have off-season boosts. Does Elijah Moore regain any value if A-Rod go to the Jets? I think it'll be harder to trade. Yes. I won't. Whatever I said earlier, I think I said it well earlier. I'm losing it at this point. But I think the move was to get him now or before now by adding him to a trade as a second-round pick value. It's only going to go up from there. I don't think anyone's going to want to spend a late first on him, and I don't think anyone's going to give him for less or for lesser value if that happens. And probably already because it's already in some people's minds a done deal. So yes, but it'll become a hold, if you know what I mean. It's worth noting. Trevor Lawrence and a first. Yes.
I think that's for the Mahomes.
Mahomes. I still want Mahomes over the Lawrence and the.
Hey, Joe.
Little Miss GM.
Hey, Joe. Oh, okay. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Everyone say hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
I just sent the offer to the new Mahomes manager. You got to test him out.
It's a solid offer. It absolutely is a solid offer. And especially because you play high stakes, like short leagues. So, yeah, give me Mahomes in that scenario.
Calvin Ridley or a mid to late?
We did this one.
Calvin Ridley. I figure I'd keep it going.
Chris Gifford. I was just offered Penny for a 24. I think for a second.
Second year out.
I don't mind doing that.
I would probably do it.
But again, on this list of players that we wanted like 4 weeks ago, we had. Ready for this? Can you read that?
Buy Penny.
Yeah. Because he was going for like anywhere from a third to a fourth at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean, changing teams to the Eagles, no less, is going to raise your value.
But you knew he was going away from Seattle, and you knew that somebody was going to give him a chance to play.
Yeah, but you also thought someone was going to give him money, and that didn't happen.
That's fine.
I still competitive roster.
You just paid a second for him, and I got him for a fourth. So that's a win for me. Micro markets, baby.
If you want to be a jerk about it,
league. That is. But yeah, and I would say unless you're in a competitive league, don't trade a second for Penny now. Like Zach said, you miss a window. It's okay, learn from it. There'll be other windows. Yeah, that's where I'm going. NYC 86718. I agree with all this assessment. Probably shouldn't, man, but we appreciate it. Not someone I was considering in rookie drafts, but wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything on his profile. Cool, thanks.
I don't remember who we were talking about anymore,
but we talk about so much shit.
Tillman.
We talk about so much.
I think so.
Tillman. Yeah. And no problem. Thanks very much for asking. What is Jordan Love's value tier in Superflex? If he's a new starter franchise QB for Green Bay, would you hold or wait and see who goes crazy? I would trade him the minute he becomes appealing to someone in a trade. I really do, and I get that I'm the worst trade in the world and stuff, but I see trades binary.
Yes,
like people are interested in that player or they're not, which is why I constantly say that guy doesn't have. It's why adding a bunch of people have low value don't add up to another player that they do. People have to be excited to accept a trade. And if someone's excited to get Jordan Love suddenly because of that crazy upside, I would take that opportunity. He's on that list for me, whatever the list that is. I don't make lists of players, just to be clear. I'm not here like he's made the list. Maybe I did. Love mints. I've lost the plot. Jake Anderson, smash the like button and subscribe, everyone. Show some love. Appreciate that, Jake. Thank you. Anyone like Tyler Scott or Trey Palmer? I actually do have some interest in Trey Palmer. He was above average for his conference and also the hit group as well. for his best year in receiving yards per team pass attempt. Talked about him a few times.
Zach, tell me if I like those.
Everyone I've
I haven't
liked a
watched
little
enough.
bit, like Ronnie Bell, Trey Palmer,
Okay.
like some
Don't think I've heard those names before.
genius tape grinders told me no, and mostly the ones I believe as well. So that sucks. I don't know. I'm missing this year, I guess. But I kind of like Trey Palmer. Is it time to move on from Christian Michael, or should I hang on? You hold on. Hold on.
League winner.
Lee, have you seen that No, you just keep holding them because at this point, that's a meme. I can't say I do, but doesn't mean they're not good. That's a fair assessment. End of the day, I think we will fill out our lineups during rookie drafts with a bunch of tanks. Boo days, you're gonna have a good time. Yeah. I don't fill out a roster with a rookie draft, but I appreciate the sentiment, Rid. I'm looking to hear arguments in favor, seeing Palmer get steamed up in big boards. Really? Okay. By some folk, I respect that. I'm trying to get an understanding as to why. Well, the reason he popped up for me is I looked through a few different filters. I look at how much of their offenses they were, and relative to past prospects who have been good. He measured in fine. He was pretty decent, but low expectation of draft capital. So what are you going to do? But through the second and third round, I look at him relative to his conference in his best and his average age year. And he came out slightly above, like 1.2% above the average prospect who goes on to do pretty well from that conference. I thought that was interesting. And it makes his stat comparing well to average hits more interesting as well, because he was actually competing at above a level for where he was playing. So it's really the conference level which made me a little more interested. But there's still lower expectation of opportunity, and I don't really have a process that says, and he can do this, so he has X skills. And I think he was co-opting volume and producing fairly well on it relative to where he was playing fairly effectively. And that's ultimately the answer of why I do and don't like wide receivers. So unfortunately, that's as best that I can do right now. But I made a few videos about him. Well, not him specifically, but he's mentioned, and I went through the process on him.
Yeah,
what are you going to say, Zach?
Well, I think the reason why he's flying up NFL big boards is because he ran a 4.33 at the combine. And
It'll do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he feels like, I know you just said that earlier, you said that, oh, this guy feels like a senior breakout. Like that's literally Trey Palmer spent 3 years at LSU doing nothing and then transferred to Nebraska. And then all of a sudden he was a bigger fish in a smaller pond and did pretty well.
Is Nebraska a smaller pond than where he came from?
Then LSU?
I misread that.
LSU is like the wide receiver U. I mean, you're talking Jefferson, Chase, Booty, the guy that you hated.
He was there, and then went on to do pretty well at that small. I don't think he did bad while he was in college, but he's a lower tier prospect for sure.
Yeah, very fast though.
That's nice. Well, there you go. I wouldn't, if he's shooting up draft boards, I would let other people make the pick. Like he's not like in my top 7 or anything. Okay. Trying to find the next comment. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm seeing that chatter too. Their profiles don't pop out, so I keep going back. Yeah, I think Zach's right. It's probably the combine. Yeah, same. But now I'm just in someone else's conversation, and they did not ask me to be there. Feels like Swift is the most expensive running back that just ends up being a career committee back. The disappointment is why I keep finding his value interesting sometimes, because I think he's doing exactly kind of what we expect him to do.
That last sentence is
that's the
truth. That's why, yes.
He can win you a week. If he catches 8 balls, he wins you a week. If he breaks a 60-yard touchdown. End of the
season, no less.
Yeah.
He's not like don't ever expect him to be Barkley or CM. Like he's not that. He's Swift, and if you can value that role, then he's pretty good at it. Yeah. Me personally, I'm not going to pay the 112 for Love.
I don't want
no. I'd love a mid-second, maybe package a player. Don't trade for him at this point. Like if people get interested in him, it's an opportunity to trade him away. He could be a starting quarterback. In Superflex, that's not nothing, but I would sell the hopes and dreams as the default.
I feel like that's going to be my new mantra. I won't pay the 112 for Love.
I would do anything for Love, but I will not do that.
I won't give the 112.
That's what he was talking
I
about.
have used that GIF many times recently, and it makes me happy every time. I also used it once when someone asked me if I would join a sleeper league with them.
And you're correct. Not all first-round quarterbacks should be worth first, but that's more because of the who is willing to do it part of trading. Like Mac Jones, I think, is, for example, and there's a lot less risk, I think, in Mac Jones having a job or being decent at his job at that job next year than in Jordan Love, which, even though everyone else hates him, obviously. Hendon Hooker talk. That's going to grab him in the Superflex draft. I'm really not up on the tight ends yet.
He's the quarterback.
Oh, sorry. I knew that too. Nowhere. Like, there are two quarterbacks in this draft I'll take. I'll take falling values in rookie drafts in general, but I tend to play rookie drafts, go get the players I want or get out. So I don't imagine I will.
I mean, so much is going to matter where an NFL team takes him. But when, again, right now, we don't know about anything, and I was doing that Superflex mock on the Fantasy Sanctuary, and we all kind of said the same thing. As of right now, I'm not going to let him fall out of the second.
Yeah,
like if we're doing a draft right now.
Yeah. So here's and I said this to J Mike today, and I haven't watched enough of Hendon Hooker to be ready to give an evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
But I've watched the first three. So I've watched.
You've watched his receivers.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I said. So I've watched Young. I've watched Stroud. I've watched Will Levis. I've started to watch Richardson, and watching Levis and then watching Hooker, and it's like, I'm not so sure that Hendon Hooker isn't a better quarterback than Will Levis. I don't think he's got. I mean, and again, he's going to be older coming in. He's coming off an injury, so like.
Yeah, Cameron Ward Truther points out Jordan Love is younger than Hendon Hooker.
Yes, but Jordan Love is not very good, and Hendon Hooker is at least moderately passable for a quarterback. I think like it's going to be so like I feel so bad for Packers fans because you moved on from an all-timer and you went to Jordan Love. Like even the Patriots got Mac Jones, who's like
they went from
serviceable.
An all-timer to an all-timer
Aaron Rodgers.
Jordan Love.
Yeah. And they lost them both to the Jets, which is wild.
So look out, Jets, in a couple of years. Here comes Jordan Love.
That's it.
Nice. Jeannie, I've added the 111 to Debo for Olave.
That's not
Garrett
good.
Wilson. Both
That's not
And Garrett Wilson. I thought you had this trade, by the way. I thought you were saying should you accept it or not. But if you're trying to put together a trade for Olave and Garrett Wilson, good luck. You don't have the horses, I promise you.
Yeah, they're both top 10. Yeah,
you don't. If you're starting with a 111, you do not have the horses to get there. That's worth it in most dynasty leagues. And if Olave and Wilson are really undervalued, so these are seeming like reasonable offers, then fine. If not, I would caution you that Olave is worth more than anything you've offered put together so far by himself. And Wilson isn't too far behind him. So I think we're a little far off. Both rejected. Also, the 103 and the 104, that's a better starting point.
Yeah.
But for both of them, you're going to need to at least spend both.
Yeah. That's probably a starting point for one of them.
I think that's what he's saying. I tried it for both of them. Not together, but for each of them.
Yeah. And it's not Debo isn't the problem in this trade. Yeah, Debo's probably a little undervalued, and you're probably just holding him because of it. Like if the 103 and Debo got you Olave or Wilson, I wouldn't think that's too terrible of a trade, to be honest with you. It's bad, but it's not. Olave and Debo.
I think it's so funny that Debo's value tanked after scoring as the wide receiver 3 on the season.
Yeah, I know.
And don't get me wrong, I agree because you knew he was never going to do it again, but like he became untradeable.
Yeah. I think that's where you're at. You're trying to get one of them for the value you're trying to send over there, and you just hold Debo. He's going to go score some points again, and that's
going to be a
wide
receiver 2, and you'll be happy.
He's shown more upside, but anyway, yeah, you're just holding Debo. Justin Ross. Oh, there's another thing to make me sad. Justin Ross has about the same chance as Sky Moore as being 2023. I would say that's painfully accurate, but yeah. Okay, let me try a second. Actually, I'd say Justin Ross has a better chance because Justin Ross had no expectation of co-opting targets.
He's so good.
They expected him to get targets that year. That's why they drafted him where they did. And then
together.
The fact that he didn't means he's probably got less of a chance. But that's probably exaggerating. Okay, let me try a second. But he's gonna decline. I've lost track.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. Keep it going.
I'm just gonna keep pushing through. So guys like Hyatt and Downs are probably going to see their ADP decline in rookie drafts. I think they're going to be late first round picks. I think Hyatt's going to be a first round NFL pick. I think Downs isn't going to drop out the first round in most drafts. Not in drafts that I'm in, anyway. And Hyatt's probably going to be held to similar because he's got a really good skill set that the NFL is going to like, and I do expect first round draft capital.
Every single year, we get a wide receiver drafted in the first round that people just refuse to draft in the first round.
Sometimes ahead of the ones we know we're first.
Like,
yeah,
unless you get that guy in your league.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm lost. PSU tight ends. Juwana draft them. I get it. What's a good buy price for Monty right now?
Second.
But a second round pick. Do you believe he has more upside behind the Lions O-line? No.
He was a workhorse in Chicago with a rushing quarterback in front of him. No.
Well, hoping he can Jamal Williams maybe. And he's a decent player. He could, but he's nowhere near the expectation. You could get Love plus. You shouldn't. At that point,
you can get Love.
Pivot off Love. Yeah, just don't do that for Love. Whatever we said. Which side do you all prefer? 12-team Superflex. Both sides have good rosters. Jalen Hurts, the 104 and the 107, or Trevor Lawrence, the 101 and the 108. Okay, so Hurts over Lawrence for me. The 4 and the 6. The 1 over the 4 and the 6, though. Tough. Bijan and Trevor Lawrence plus whoever you get at 8. Or Jalen Hurts and Addison and whoever you get at 6.
I think I take Hurts.
Yeah, because I think you get Hurts.
I think you got to go Hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get Hurts a quarterback, and then maybe JSN there.
Yeah, this is because the thing is, at that 104, if you're doing the smart thing, you could trade back a spot and get stuff on top of that to grab JSN at 5 after someone trades up to get one of those quarterbacks. So
it's a Hurts side, especially since we expect a few more quarterbacks to be stuffed into that. Yeah, it's a Hurts side.
Hurts is just what?
Yeah,
almost 2 tiers above T-Law. So just give me Hurts and I'll figure out the rest later.
And look at that, a Bijan trade we actually accepted. Look at that, Bijan. No matter what, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Honestly, though, if you just were like, Bijan Robinson, I don't hate it, but I think I go Hurts there. Even if there's a fire, even if he's on fire. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. I enjoy the energy immensely, though. Thank you. I needed that. We're just all up in Joe's conversation at this point.
Yep.
Thanks, gents. Great show as always. Appreciate you, man. Thanks very much. Accepted the Ridley deal. Okay. Now I have 14 firsts over the next 2 drafts.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's a rebuild.
I think you're done built, but yeah. And
but we'll revisit that next year, and then we'll see how bad it is. Yeah,
it's a quarterback draft. I tried to get a first.
How could his ADP yesterday? How could his ADP have risen?
Well, not DLF ADP, that goes monthly, but there are some sites that try and keep up to date. I guess keep trade cut maybe, but yeah. I'm seeing people
take a penny, leave a penny
ahead of Najee.
Again, nobody jumps to take a penny in the startup that we're in right now. I was trying to convince Rocky to draft him, and he just was not having it.
Sharp penny, I always knew it. I can roll out some old takes finally. I did not know it. I got this one wrong. A to Z got Penny as a free agent, but then traded him for Jake Ferguson and a tight end premium.
You might have a starting tight end.
Hey, no. But look on the bright side. Open 24 hours to that running back sell point. I sold Damian Pierce on a 24-second for ETN positive.
Yeah.
In a few weeks last season. Didn't think I could do the same deal today. Plus, ETN is getting replaced in the draft. You just dropped that in at the end there.
Wait, what?
I don't think ETN is getting replaced in the draft. They'll go in again for another one, right?
That's possible.
That is a sentence that you can say with the English language. Yes. Did you say hi to Jordan Love, Zach?
No, I'm a Jay Giles guy. Love stinks.
Yeah.
No problem, Chris. 109 or Love 12 team. I don't need the details. It's 109. 109. I read the details to be clear, but no, it's a 9. Gonna draft Butte on all my teams with Jordan Love. Stop it. I feel like every team has Jordan Love at this point. Butte Love or Love Butte. I hope you do that. Hooker also has some immense naming opportunities.
He's a better runner than Levis is. I think.
Discount Levis. Oh, it's interesting.
I think Levis is overrated as a runner.
I think he's overrated in general.
So I think so. Can I quickly Levis on this?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
I think the people who are high on Levis are wrong, and I think the people who are low on Levis are wrong. I don't think that he does what people think he does. He's very accurate on the short throws, and he's got an absolute cannon. What he doesn't do well is move and then throw. So once he moves, he doesn't reset his platform. So if you can make him roll to the right, he may not complete a pass all game. But if you give him either time to sit in the pocket and throw the ball down the field, or if a team runs really quick routes, like he's really good on screens, on quick slants, that sort of thing, he's actually really accurate. So he's not a bad quarterback. He's just not what people think he is. Like, people want him to be Josh Allen, and he's not. He doesn't run. He's not a good runner. He's not a great runner. He's okay.
He doesn't combine the two skills well.
Yeah, and he doesn't run like when Allen runs, Allen's like, yeah, this is going to be a first down, and I'm going to run through that guy, and now it's going to be when Levis runs
the size of a linebacker.
Levis is like, oh crap, I got to run, and I'm going to try to dive through this guy, and it just, he doesn't have that same innate ability to run. But I do think that as a throwing quarterback, he is not as bad as what people are making him out to be. Like, he's not just a cannon. He actually is really good at the short intermediate stuff. He just is not good when he has to move the pocket and then throw off platform. He is awful, and he makes some terrible decisions when he's got pressure. So, I mean, I think he'll be fine. He's just for fantasy. I'm not excited about the prospect of Will Levis for fantasy because I don't think he does either thing well enough to score.
Probably a very different player, but I just assumed he was in the Kenny Pickett fantasy relevant kind of tier. Like, he's not bad. He's not gonna.
Yeah. Pickett may be a little bit better at the short stuff, but Levis has got the downfield, like ability to throw it downfield much more than Pickett does. But similar like prospect-y.
Sorry, I got interested, so I'm looking at it. Completion percentage 64% versus 63%. 63% is Will Levis. So Hendon Hooker was slightly more accurate just through completion percentage. PFF has it rated. Yeah, Hooker was slightly more accurate. 75% pass attempt accuracy from PFF and 72 for Levis. I forget how I'm calculating that or how I'm looking at that. That's just their average. So
Yeah.
Jordan Love is younger than Herden Hooker.
It's true.
I like that. Keep track of that. Yeah, he played for a minute, huh?
Sky Moore is younger than Justin Jefferson. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds
good.
Right.
Players are good career arcs, not good ages. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers price check. Superflex 12 team, hold or sell.
It depends on what you can get for him.
If I'm competing and I can get him for a second, which might be realistic, then I would do that.
I don't think you can get him for a second, though, right? First in a Superflex, a quarterback for a second round pick is still okay.
I mean, if I can get a first round pick for Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to do that, though.
That's why I was going to say sell. I'm probably taking most deals that have a first in it. Really hope Josh Jacobs goes late first in the NFL draft. I don't know. I'm expecting less draft capital for wide receivers this year. I've heard different, but I'm like, I don't know. I just think it's a low draft capital year and slower development. I think they're going to be. I don't think we should expect a top 12 rookie, and it'll be the first year in a while we haven't seen that. Still, some of the better prospects.
Well, definitely not for Madison because he's terrible.
Julio Jones. He's Julio.
God, the hate. And what running backs would you trade the 105 for, if any? Yeah, there's like 7 that are above Gibbs, or 6. The ones that are above Gibbs. Gibbs goes to the 5.
Would you trade the 105 for? Or what? I mean, Superflex, 1 QB, little help, buddy.
I mean, I'm assuming it's Superflex. If it's
okay.
All right. So if it's Superflex, I just happen to have the DLF trade analyzer open. The 105, Josh Jacobs is right there. DeAndre Swift is right there.
Swift, I do.
Yeah, if you're going higher, it's a little rough because then we're hitting like Eckler and ETN, and I don't think that.
Yeah, it's ETN, it's Eckler, Walker, Breece Hall, Barkley.
Oh, you're going way too high up.
Yeah, that's all the ones that are above him, though. I mean,
I would absolutely try Josh Jacobs.
I would want Gibbs for Jacobs, is what I'm saying.
He says it is Superflex. Honestly, like, just take Gibbs.
That'd be my plan. Got Love London and 14 first. Watch out. Thanks for all you guys do. Well, not everything we do. I do some pretty, not
he does some pretty not great things.
I'm pretty much a git, especially on Twitter. So, but we appreciate it. Thanks for what you guys do. Did the Malik Willis experiment end before it started? No, I thought we were expecting him basically to sit, and then maybe they'd try and run him out this year a little bit.
It was weird that they put, Josh Dobbs out there instead of him.
That's fair.
That's it. That's the only thing that weirded me out. I would have been completely fine with him not starting the entire season if Tannehill started the entire season.
No, that is a fair point.
But also,
I think he's still rosterable. You still hold him in a super flex.
Oh yeah, you're not dropping him.
And the correct Jordan Love song is by Roxette.
Fading like a flower. You're right.
I knew that was a Zach comment. Sadly, if we're never going to meet these guys' knowledge of music. Sadly, if Levis goes top 12 in the draft, we're obligated to draft him in the later portion of rookie drafts. Yes, I think so. He's a first-round pick.
I think Steven was referring to it must have been Love, but I think it's Fading Like a Flower.
But it's over now. See, at least I knew that one. I know the song. I never would have put that connection together.
101 for London and the 102.
Oh, God, honestly, yes.
Tempting. Honestly tempting.
I would 1,000%.
JSN in London for
JSN in London for, yeah, I would do that.
I'm on the fence. I'm just saying that's a running back 1, and these are 2 good wide receivers. I'm not sure. JSN's got risk.
I reacted very quickly.
I still think it's a 101, but not that much.
Never. I take it back. If this was like 10 or 11, then I would probably take London in the 102. But start 8, just best player. Give me Bijan. But if
that's Olave or Garrett Wilson, does it change your opinion?
Yes, because I would 100% be starting. Though I did just hear your podcast with JJ Zacharyson because I'm insanely behind, and he was saying that London should be up there with Olave.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But he says Wilson shouldn't be.
Yeah, well,
he said Wilson's just a little below him. So he hates Wilson like you hate Addison.
Right.
Yeah. It's close, but all the risk is on the London and the side. So I'd probably just stick with Bijan Robinson.
In Bijan still?
That's okay, but I'm not going to admit to it, so let's not. Yeah. Superflex, sorry. That does actually matter, but I think that covered it. What are you doing with Mixon? Nothing. What have you heard? And you're holding on to Khalil Herbert or selling? Mostly hold this time of season. You're not going to get probably what I would trade him for, which is a second. Mixon, same deal. If you're rostering them at this point, you rostered them too long if you're interested in trading them, unless you're trying to use them to compete, which is potentially possible. So yeah, running backs mostly holds for me, unless someone that I think is really good or has really high upside points per game wise is undervalued. Pacheco is probably the best one we've come across like this. This stream at least. Am I off, or you guys just, if you're rostering him, you're just going to keep rostering him at this point, probably? Yeah.
I already told you what I'd do with Mixon is I'd try to trade him for a 25 first and Penny. Like that's what I
try and trade him for Penny. That's a good idea. Yeah. I picked up Penny as a free. This is the one you read, right? On January the 1st, 2023 in Dynasty, and dropped him later that day.
No.
He's exactly the type of player you want on the bottom of your roster, though.
Running backs.
Yep.
Traded the 104 and the 110 for JT.
Nice.
And the 308. Yeah, I think they're solid. I lean the other side, but I definitely don't think it's a bad trade.
Because let's face it, with a decent quarterback, that offense will be good, and in a good offense, JT can be very good.
Yeah.
So I definitely think
I think he'll be pretty decent, even if the offense is okay. You know, he's going to get going.
Well, and 104 and a 1 quarterback is probably what, Addison
or Gibbs, depending on how that falls.
Well, no. So, but isn't it Robinson, JSN, Gibbs?
I mean,
or you think Addison could go ahead of Gibbs?
I like wide receivers.
I always break ties to running backs.
I just like wide receivers.
Drafts. That's fair.
I don't see. My bias always pushes through in my real rookie drafts, but my actual advice is Gibbs first. But
he says he also still has Brees and ETN and Josh Allen. That doesn't change the value of but it's good to know your roster with Pitts.
It looks like we have a very good team. So cool.
You're increasing your chance to compete in a roster that's built to try and do that. So yeah, appreciate the feedback. No problem, Daniel. I hope it was okay. 12-team Superflex start 10. Give Herbert, Elijah Moore, get Swift, and a second. Khalil Herbert and Elijah Moore for Swift.
Khalil.
I think would be Swift. Yeah, this is Khalil. Yeah,
Khalil.
All right,
Peter.
Yes, sir.
Look right over there.